They won 14 of their last 16 to get over 500. They were really never in contention. We expected them to get into contention. It just didn't happen on the field in the real world. Losing in one-run games, losing in extra inning games, and being one of the biggest disappointments in recent memory.
We obviously appreciate Bob's contributions here the last 2 seasons in San Diego, and we wish him the best in San Francisco.
I think that probably every series I would look in that dugout and look over the other side and say, maybe someday, hopefully.
We have some sad news in the world of baseball. Padres owner and chairman Peter Seidler has passed away this morning.
Juan Soto has been traded to the Yankees along with Trent Grisham.
It had been such a grindy offseason.
It was a horrible offseason.
It was horrible.
This fan base was patient.
Yes.
They went through it.
It is with great joy we officially introduce and celebrate the 23rd manager in Padres history, Mike Shildt.
We've got a fun group, guys with a lot of talent.
Diving stop, long throw to first, and he got him! Oh, what a play by Jake Cronenworth!
But I do like the idea of our first time up, you got to face Fernando Tatis, and that's appealing. And a chance to get punched in the mouth right away.
First pitch is hammered to left field. Forget about it! A missile to left for Tatis.
I love Manny Machado's $1 million smile, and I love Joe Musgrove's passion for the city and his competition.
A 1-2-3 first for Joe Musgrove, and he caps it with a strikeout of Shohei Ohtani.
Ha-Seong Kim flying around the field, playing the game the right way with a lot of heart and desire and talent.
Ha-Seong Kim!
We're going to have a good time with it. We're going to play with some swagger, but we're also going to play with some substance as well.
Fernando takes off. He's going to steal home without a play. Straight steal of home. And Perez never knew. Kim swings, hits it in the air. Deep to left. Gonna go! Grand slam. Ha-Seong Kim. Number 6 for Yu Darvish in 3 shutout innings.
Dylan Cease going to the San Diego Padres, and the White Sox acquiring a bevy of guys.
Now it comes down to a lineup that has some superstar players, and if you get superstar seasons out of a couple of those guys, why wouldn't this be a playoff team at this point?
At the end of the day, it's about getting it done. Whether it looks ugly or looks bad or looks great, whatever it is, it's about getting it done, right? So, we're going to do a better job this year with that, and I think it comes from the group that we have in here.
It's showtime.
Well, happy opening day, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Baja Rick's Cantina, downtown San Diego, already jamming with people. The tier ones, they always show up. Thank you guys for being here. I was nervous about 15 minutes ago, and now I'm not nervous anymore. It's good to have everyone here. Good to be here with my compatriots. I'm Woodsy. Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Give him a big round of applause.
Morning, everybody.
Sweet angel.
And how about a gigantic round of applause after that epic open put together by one executive producer, Paul Reindl.
Yes, sir, Paulie. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are here. The day has finally arrived. And I'll say I'm a little ill-prepared. I would just right out of the chute, don't you think? Went out last night with the guys. Went out to a nice dinner. It's actually me and my wife, Hotel Hannah, who's over there. Give Hotel Hannah a big round of applause. Margarita Hannah made an appearance as well. And then Paulie's wife, Megan, give her a nice round of applause. We went to a really nice restaurant called Lionfish. And we told Benny had to work, but he said, I'm going to come down. When you guys are getting dessert, we'll toast our 6 years, which happened yesterday.
That's because you eat at 5:15 in the afternoon.
Well, we do.
Most people are still working.
The collective we all ate at, we moved it to 5:30. Okay. It was supposed to be 5. There was one other couple in that entire restaurant when we sat down.
Seated right next to us, by the way. Could not have been closer.
It's exactly right. This giant, beautiful space. They're like, let's just sit right here. So I heard all of their conversations about New Jersey and how unaffordable it's gotten and everything else. So that was really fun. But we had such an incredible time. And then Ben came.
What?
No, I meant also Ben came.
Whoa.
Yeah, also Ben came to the thing, and we toasted, and we had a really nice night. And I had to lead off with this story because many people are wondering. Well, yesterday we were walking to the team store, my wife and I, and guy's walking out. He's got his UPS, literally he's worked for UPS, full brown, like I'm wearing today right now, just minus the logo. And we're walking by, and he goes, "Yeah, Hotel Hannah," gives her a big high five. It was the greatest thing ever. So we get back to the room. I've had a couple of old fashions. I'm feeling pretty good. Hannah's had about 14 margaritas, so she's feeling all right. And so she goes into the bathroom. I go, "Did you bring some sexy lingerie?" And she goes, "No." Do you know what she walked out in? Paulie, will you put it in the chat? She walked out in the Adam Klug shirt and nothing else. She walked out of the bathroom fully nude, but only the Adam Klug shirt that our friend Corey had made. So there's my boss.
Extra sweet.
Extra sweet. There's my boss.
How come you didn't do that for me?
It was, hey, trust me, Paulie, it was not what I wanted to see at that time. So she gets into bed, and I go, "Okay, please take that shirt off." She said, "No, I'm not taking it off." I go, "This is unequivocally the weirdest escapade I've ever had, and I've had some weird ones." But Adam, Adam's here. Good morning, Adam. Everyone say hi to Adam. Adam, thank you for being a part of my special night last night. I'll really, honestly, never, ever look at you the same again. Never. I can never possibly look at you the same, because I looked directly in your eyes last night, and it was certainly an interesting scene for me. But we are here for one reason and one reason only, and that is to celebrate
the Sweet 16.
I'll just go back to the room right now. I'm excited about that, obviously, but we have business to take care of first. And our beloved San Diego Padres open the season today down here, Petco Park. The weather it's going to be incredible. And the crowd's already here. They're fully dressed, and they're brown and gold and ready to rock today.
I got a question for the assemblage here in front of us. When this offseason started, and you heard Paulie's his open, and Peter passed away, and Juan Soto was traded, and everything seemed like the news was bad. Did you have any idea you'd feel this excited for opening day by the time it came around?
No.
Because I'm super pumped for this season, and I didn't expect to be as excited as I was. I thought maybe it'll be, we'll wait and see, kind of, dip our toe into the water this season. But after going to spring training, after the acquisition of Dylan Cease, getting to know Mike Schilt a little bit, I feel really good about this team going into this year, like surprisingly good about the San Diego Padres. And I'm not just saying that to hype up the team. I actually almost feel better than I did last year at this time. I had more confidence in the talent maybe last year, but there was something weird all the way through last season that you could never really put your finger on. And so far, everything has felt really good for the start of this season through spring training.
I couldn't agree more, especially the way we started. I mean, you just couldn't have started an offseason worse than we did here in San Diego. It just couldn't have been worse. Losing Peter Seidler was not only a blow to this team, but to this city.
I mean, it even started before that.
It started before that.
The Preller and Bob Melvin stuff.
Icky.
He's definitely coming back. But then he wasn't. And it was so weird. And
it was awful.
We just didn't have a manager for like a month, and we had no idea what was going on. And then Peter passed away. It was not fun.
It wasn't. It was not fun. And Peter was the one, obviously, for me, talent like Juan Soto can be replaced. Talent like Blake Snell can be replaced. Maybe not at the same level, but you knew they were going to go into the season with a full team. That's not something we were worried about. Just wanted to know who it would be. Losing Peter Seidler was one of the harder days for this city to endure, and it's going to continue to endure. But you walk around yesterday, you go into the team store, you see the Peter Seidler patches. I'm sure you guys have seen online what they've done in the ballpark as far as the grass goes. I'm going to be a wreck. Sheil, his wife, throwing out the first pitch today. It's special, and that man loves San Diego, and we all love San Diego, and that's why we're here. And you know what, man? I do have to give credit because this roster looks infinitely better than I thought it would, 3 months ago, 4 months ago. And Dylan Cease is a huge, huge part of that, in my opinion, and grabbing him kind of at the last minute. I was actually surprised last night there wasn't a little move because a couple teams did address some needs yesterday.
I think dreaming on Jackson Merrill is a little bit a part of it as well. Seeing what he looks like he might be capable of as a 20-year-old in his rookie season, winning the starting center field job. And let's be honest, scoring 15 runs against the Dodgers a week ago didn't hurt either in getting the first victory of the season out of the way in Korea. It takes a little bit of pressure off the offense right off the bat here to start the season.
Yeah, there's just a lot to like about this team. And you talked about last year and going into last year with the expectations I had. I mean, I was bulletproof a year ago today. Bulletproof. I'm like, there's no way. I can't wait to see what these guys do together. And I mean, it even went so far as like my fantasy draft where I paid 5 times what Jake Cronenworth was worth because I said he's gonna have 17 guys on every game. The guy's gonna get at least 6 RBI a game. Like all he's got to do is put it in play. And boy, it didn't work out like that. That's not a knock on him. Guys didn't get on base either. I mean, and when they did, we couldn't get them in. So you just like to think, man, if a couple of those things change a little bit this year, we're going to be in really good shape. And I do like the skipper a lot. I really, really like the skipper a lot. He cares. He's mean. Like he's mean. Like you have to have a little bit of meanness in you. And I mean, from what he told us when we talked to him,
the red ass is there.
The red ass is there, and the days of getting pushed around at Petco Park are over. I mean, he's flat out told us those days are over. It's not happening anymore. And I said, okay, it'd be nice to see that. Guys come into Petco and get really, really comfortable. And I don't want it to be a comfortable place for them to play anymore.
We've got a fun show planned for you today. But before we get to anything else, I want to get to the big question first.
Your appearance.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, my appearance.
Well, your appearance.
Who is Mikey ZD and what is a thought God mansion? What is this?
Frank, go ahead and save that.
Where's my glasses? I've lost my glasses. So this is your appearance that you're doing post game.
Is this my post game appearance? I saw this flyer on social media yesterday. Ben Higgins presents. Welcome to Thought God Mansion.
Yeah, Thought God Mansion.
There's a $500 twerk off, ladies free, 4 to 5 p.m. Early bird tickets just $20, which is great. I like early bird specials.
Well, that's a great price, $20.
Yeah. But it's in South Carolina, it looks like.
Yeah.
So how am I going to get to South Carolina in time for this post game event?
We'll worry about that later. I actually did. I said I can't wait for Ben to ask tomorrow. What is a thought? But then I thought to myself. I don't know what a thought means either. I know what it is. Hannah, what is it?
It means that.
Yeah. Oh, say it.
I can't say that.
You can say that.
I don't think so. Yeah, that's true because it's a gardening tool.
Exactly.
That hoe over there.
That's
a thought.
Yeah. Thought.
Got it.
It's an acronym.
Who are some of the performers that are going to be at Thought God Mansion?
You've got your gardening shed, and there's that hoe over there.
Just give me some of the talent.
That's the beautiful Z. There's Russian Cream with CREME. There's Liv Dior, Sparkle, Channy Shan, car show host Tamel, and more.
Yeah. What else is going on there?
Let's see. We've got
pool party, ladies free from 4 to 5 p.m.
Nothing but A and T.
Holy cow!
Posted by Ben Higgins.
You guys, this delighted you all.
I
you have no idea.
Tremendously.
I was laughing so hard I choked last night. I said, I cannot believe this, and I wish that we could do this. And I'm actually a little bit bummed that you're not hosting a twerking competition at 4 p.m. today. But no, we got a lot to get to today. I want to talk to some of you guys as well out there in the audience. It's a special day, and I certainly appreciate your effort getting up, getting down here. Because if I had my choice today, I'd be still asleep in my hotel room waiting for the game to start. And you guys are legends. Thank you so much for being down here at Baja Rick's Cantina. It's incredible. Blow my mind every time.
All right, we're gonna take our first time out, but I want everyone who's here already. Make sure you get your name into the prize hopper. We'll let you know what we're going to be giving away during the course of the show. We've got some great prizes, and we will set the menu for the show coming up. We've also got Kelly on traffic. I don't know if there's going to be trains going by right here.
There definitely will be.
You'll hear that a few times
We got to
during the
figure
show
out
today.
what are we doing every time a train rolls by. Are we taking a shot?
There's no way. We wouldn't make it to the show.
No, it happens like 7 times an hour. Woods is already feeling it this morning.
A drink of a beer.
It's opening day. It is 2024. Padres getting ready to go. Let's get it going. Let's hear it. It's Ben and Woods, Paul Reindl. We are live at Baja Rick's Cantina, 6th and L in the gas lamp, right here on San Diego's #1 sports station. Let's get a check of traffic with Kelly Danick right here on 97.3 The Fan. Well, we're barely 20 minutes into our opening day broadcast.
I'm exhausted.
On Ben and Woods. Woods is exhausted.
Exhausted.
And we already have some apologies we need to make.
To whom?
Well, we did all the introductions, and we failed to mention, once again, Italian Paul.
Oh!
Frank Marchese, who is
There
back
he
in our
is.
Odyssey studio. Someone always has to be left behind. It is the nature of radio. You go out, have a huge fun event, but someone always has to be back in the studio. It is Frank who drew that straw today, and Frank, we appreciate you as always, even though we did forget about you in the first segment of the show yet again.
Yeah, feeling all the appreciation, guys. Thank you very much.
Now, Frankie, when you draw that straw, is that a straw that you don't mind drawing, or would you like to be out here amongst the people?
You know, it's funny. There's only ever one straw. Like, that's it. It's not like I'm fighting amongst a couple of other people. Hold on, by the way, I hear that in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's only ever one straw.
So it's like
Adam hands the straws out, and it always is the short straw for Frank.
Well, it's just one straw. It's just here. Here's your
There's
straw.
your short straw.
And, well, we miss you out here, Frankie, and we love you. And don't mess this up today. It's
I don't want to make Frank jealous, but we are getting a golden sombrero bucket coming out at 8 o'clock, and I'm sure he would help us crush the lobster tails, the prime steak, the crab, the shrimp, the elote, the Caesar salads that we're going to have to power our way through at the midpoint of the show.
I'm more nervous about that than I am the game. I'm more nervous about the bucket than I am the game. I ate so much last night, go figure, at Lionfish, and it was just so good. But excited to see what Baja Ricks has to offer.
I see some tier ones already enjoying some brews, some food early in the morning. You do have to be here present to win some of our prizes.
Correct.
That we're going to be giving out during the show today. So here's the plan. At the bottom of every hour, we're going to spin the prize wheel and pick out names. So make sure you get your name into the drawing if you're down here. First up, you get a Padres opening series hat before anyone else. Then in our second hour, we've got Blink 182 tickets we're going to be giving away.
Please enter your name in the hopper.
Hour number 3, you can be the proud owner of one of the very first Manny Machado home run bobbleheads.
Oh, yeah.
And then in our final hour at 9:30, we'll be giving away a pair of Padres tickets to Tuesday night's game when you can see the three of us throwing out the ceremonial first pitch on 97.3 The Fan Poncho night at the Padres Cardinals game next Tuesday.
I'm so nervous still.
You've done it before.
I've done it twice before.
I've never really done it. We
did it
went up at the Storm game, but that was like a pre-ceremonial first pitch. It wasn't even an official first pitch.
So our show had just been on the air like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was deathly ill. Go figure, because every time we start a new show, I get deathly ill. We go up to Elsinore. From what I remember, your pitch wasn't that great that night.
Wasn't terrific.
It was not that great.
I think I have footage of that somewhere.
Paulie will find that footage, and I was hacking up a lung, and it wasn't. And I thought to myself, who is this guy that I'm working with that just spiked that ball? Now, many years have gone by. Arm strength has probably developed a little bit here and there. So I think you're going to get it. I think you're going to be fine.
Gotten on the the pitch track machines, and I got to get. I've been working on it.
You've been at the Point Loma.
The biomechanics lab to make sure that I'm all set.
He's been toying with a slider or a sweeper. Toying with a sweeper. Our beloved Benjamin Higgins. So thanks for tuning in today. If you're listening and you're missing out, I'm really sorry. It's going to be a fun day. Still time to get down here. Going to be here. The station's going to be here till noon. We'll be on till 10. We probably should whack that up now that I think about it. 6 to 9 for us, 9
Adam,
to noon.
What's going on with that?
Annie and Nelson probably would have been a better fit today.
How come we didn't do 6 to 9 and 9 to 12?
You like to keep it fair and stuff, so I think we go 3 and 3. If you do 6, then you split it down the middle. They get 3, we get 3, because I don't want to. They're a news show. They need to, get the momentum going. No,
Adam
absolutely
says, is there
not.
ever anything Woods doesn't complain about?
Hey, you told me I like to keep it fair. That's
We have to
3
work-
and 3 is fair.
We have to work an extra hour to pay for the golden sombrero bucket.
That's fair.
I think this morning. So we already have some actually breaking Padres news this morning.
Do we?
Late last night was actually when the Padres sent out the announcements that everybody's been waiting for. The games will actually be on television this year, starting today.
All right.
And the Padres did announce their non-streaming television options to watch the game in 2024, very similar to last year. If you have AT&T Universe, channel 781 or digital 1781. If you have Cox, It is channel 83 this year, which I checked last night, didn't even exist, but I'm told will pop into your channel lineup at some point today before the Padres
magically
game. It just went right from 82 to 84, and I'm going, what? The Padres are on 83. There isn't even a channel 83
Isn't
yet.
that weird? They can just add just here. It's
There.
now 84.
Magic new channel exists. Spectrum channel 305 or 443. And DirecTV channel 694-3. So if you have any of those 4 options, you will be able to watch Padres baseball this season.
So if you have Padres.tv, that's a rebrand essentially for MLB TV, yes?
That's the local non-blacked out games available for MLB TV for Padres subscribers, which you can also stream in-market games this year, again, by paying the $19.99 a month or $99 for the season.
So somebody doesn't need to get Padres TV and MLB TV.
Well, if you want to watch all the out-of-market games,
if you want to watch
separate.
out-of-market,
yeah.
okay.
But, if you just want to watch the Padres games in town, Padres TV, Padres home and road games will all be available there. But if you don't want to stream it and you have any of these cable or satellite options, you will be able to watch Padres baseball.
Let me address this with Fritz. You can. He says, I'm bummed because with Cox, you can't stream outside your home. There's a Contour app, right? And that's what I used to stream.
Yeah, but sometimes certain, especially with live sporting events, sometimes you can, sometimes they won't let you stream them. They're blacked out.
So Cox. So I have Cox, and I probably also need to sign up for Padres TV
if you want to stream them outside your home. Now, when I was growing up, there was no option. There was a big giant TV, and if you walked away from it, you couldn't watch the games anywhere else. So don't kind of goes back to the old days. If you can't stream it on your phone.
The difference is we're not in the old days. We're in 2024, right? Like back in the day, your surgeon used to smoke a cigarette when he cut you open to give you an appendectomy.
Padres also say that Fubo TV is an option as well, which FOBO.
Somebody's got his mind on the thought parade tonight.
FOMO TV.
Okay.
If you have FOMO of missing the Padres game, you can get Fubo and watch them that way as well. So those are your digital and analog viewing options for the Padres this season.
Okay, well, good.
Well, I mean, everyone's been waiting. It's probably the question we've gotten the most from fans
angry DMs
all
about
year
it.
long. Everyone asked, are you going to be able to watch the games on television? And I've been saying, I promise you, the Padres will want these games on television. It doesn't do them any good to not let you watch them on TV. So the question that is not answered is, are they getting any money from these? Is this a television deal, or are they just renting the space to make sure that the games are available? Are they going to make some of that revenue up that they lost when the Bally Sports deal went away, when Diamond Sports declared bankruptcy last season? I don't know about that. That was not addressed in the release from very late last night that the Padres sent out.
All right.
Good. Why are we just?
I'm cold. I'm putting this on.
Paulie's cold.
Good
All
idea.
right, so we'll take a timeout. Bottom of the hour.
Why does it get colder the later in the morning?
Every remote we go on, we ask this question, and Ben has explained it before.
It's always coldest right before the dawn.
That's right.
Yeah.
Always.
Until the sun is actually warming us up. It gets colder and colder all night long until the very first rays of sun's light hit you in the morning. So, all right, we're going to take a little timeout. When we come back, get into the start of the season and the big irony to begin the 2024 season for your San Diego Padres. That is next. We are live at Baja Rick's, downtown, 6th and L at the Gas Lamp. Let's hear it. Tier 1s are up early, as always, with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, we are currently in downtown. If you look to your right there, Woods, and squint a little bit, you might actually even be able to see 7 Mile Casino. We're just 7 minutes away from San Diego's best, most upscale card room, where we had our viewing party last week.
I think I can smell the Kung Pao chicken from here. Now, we had such a great time last week. And again, like I said earlier in the week, I feel like we did some matchmaking. I feel like we turned a lot of new people onto 7 Mile Casino. I feel like they showed up. They loved it. And I feel like they're going to come back. And over and over and over, because it's that kind of place.
Yeah, you walk in, you're going to get friendly faces, good dealers, great tables. It's California-style blackjack, Texas Hold'em, Pai Gow poker, baccarat, all the tables right in front of you. Good clientele. I've always walked in. I've always felt comfortable. There's TVs all over the place, windows. It's light. It's just a really cool card room, cool space.
And you may see your friendly neighborhood sports anchor sitting at the bar enjoying a nice bowl of Kung Pao chicken.
It's happened before.
It's happened many, many times. So if that doesn't get you in the door, I don't know what will. Check them out for yourself, my friends. 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
And this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Celebrate and save at Ashley's anniversary sale with Hot Buys, your choice of color, starting at $399. Ashley sleep mattresses starting at $250, plus receive a free adjustable base with select mattress purchases only at Ashley. I don't know if the Padres are glad that it's going to work out this way or not, but there's certainly an irony here to start the Major League Baseball season this afternoon at Petco Park. Get to that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan.
Can't imagine, Woods, that it's happened very many times in baseball history where a team starts the season going up against their own manager from last season. Yeah. But when the schedule came out and the Giants were first up here at Petco Park, it means that Bob Melvin will quickly make his return to Petco Park, along with, of course, their Cy Young Award winner from last year, Blake Snell, who is not expected to pitch in this series, although may pitch when the Padres go back up to Oracle Park next week in the third series of the season or fourth series of the season. And what's really ironic is that opposing teams usually stay at the Omni, which is right in front of us.
That's it, right?
If they open the window right now, Bob and Blake might be able to hear us. Bob, he could actually hear us right now out his window at the Omni Hotel.
He starts throwing stuff down at us.
So you were booing. Yeah. And what do you think? What should happen when Bob Melvin and Blake Snell are introduced along the baseline, opening day tradition?
I think you're stupid if you boo.
When the former manager, when the Cy Young winner comes out to start their season, what's the reaction at Petco Park today?
I wasn't gonna do anything, and then I heard Paulie's Open where he did his bit that I'd forgotten about. He's like, man, I used to look over at that dugout and I'd take my pants off and I would lube up and I would just think to myself, oh God, if I could just be in that dugout one day. I forgot how much that pissed me off. And I know that it's something you have to say when you go get the new gig, right? I realize that, but I forgot. I was like, okay, now look, it takes two to tango. AJ Preller has owned some of his.
When he came to San Diego, he's like, this is amazing. I'm so excited to be here. This is a great opportunity. You think people in Oakland were like, F you, man? Like,
no, because Oakland, you get it. Like, you would just you're like, bro, I totally understand why you would leave Oakland. I'm sure there were people that were bummed, but they also had him for a long, long time. Right. They had him a long time. And he did a lot here, and I liked him. I liked him a lot very personally, but man, I remembered hearing that and going, all right, that kind of sucks. Well, all right, listen, now you're on the other team. I have no ill will against him, but I don't want him to win a game against us this year. So I will probably drop just a cash. I'm not a big booer, but I'll probably give him like a brrr.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I have no ill will toward Bob Melvin.
Great dude.
But this is baseball. This is team sports. And whether or not AJ was more at fault. Bob was more at fault. I'm sure it was some of each. We're Padres fans, so we're on AJ's team, and as long as he's here, we're kind of on his side. So, I'm probably not going to do much. I certainly am not going to applaud for Bob Melvin when he comes out to the baseline. Boo. I think you can make your own choice there. When it comes to Blake Snell, though. And I hate to tell people how to fan.
I'm gonna give him one of these.
I gotta give him a big round of applause.
Blake Snell one of these.
When he's introduced, even though he's wearing a Giants uniform, and I think circumstances matter. What he did for the Padres the last few seasons, and the fact that, by all reckoning, Padres didn't even really make him an offer, a competitive offer. He was allowed to leave in free agency, was not even really given the option to stay here with the San Diego Padres. I guess,
it's one of those things
I'll play for the minimum. He could have come back, but, any reasonable person
we don't
would
even want
understand.
To insult you with an offer. Like, what we can afford,
exactly.
It would be insulting. Thank you for your services. Good luck wherever you land.
I think that Blake Snell, and the fact that he won't be pitching likely in this series helps a little bit, that I think you can fully appreciate, cheer, give him a huge ovation when he returns, and hopefully we'll be here. I know he's supposed to pitch a simulated game or a B game somewhere tomorrow, maybe even back in Arizona, but I would think as part of the team, he should be lining up with his teammates today at Petco Park, and if he is there, I will definitely give him a big cheer and thank him for what he did the last 4 seasons.
No question about it. It's all, it feels different with a player. It just does. I don't know why. And sometimes a player leaves and they don't have nice things to say on the way out of town.
Yeah, but Juan Soto will get booed next time he's in Petco Park.
And I don't think he should. I don't think he should. Juan Soto.
He had less choice than Blake Snell.
Yeah.
He got traded away.
Right.
And
but I'm just telling you, it will happen.
Which happens. I mean, it's sports. This is none of their first rodeo. He knows that, and I think there's still plenty of people that respect the work that they put in and the things that they did. Certainly, I think Juan Soto. I read an article about him the other day about how now Yankee fans are going through it with a year. A year left on his deal there, and we all know who his agent is. Now, his agent just had his worst offseason. So if you're Juan Soto, you got to be a little bit more panicked than you were. There's no guarantee of 10 years, $500 million as soon as this season wraps up. Highest bidder, which is why we're probably heading screaming towards a lockout at some point because owners are going, I don't think I want to do those deals anymore. And especially not with you, Mr. Boris. So we're happy to wait it out. Juan wants to go play in Pittsburgh. Great. I don't know that the Dodgers are going to come to the table with $800 million, $798 deferred for Juan Soto. I just don't know what the market will be. I know he wants to have a monster season, but I know New York fans are in the panic that we were last year, and they're going to be anytime he takes a walk, they're going to crush him, much like the Padres fan base did last year.
Before he gets to free agency, as you said, he's got one season here with the New York Yankees, and I've got to think it's a concerning sign. Now, granted, national media will write anything about the Yankees, but first big story on opening day, David Schoenfield on ESPN writing about Juan Soto and, what Aaron Boone is kind of telling him and how trying to get him to feel comfortable with the veteran leaders already on the team. And Boone told reporters yesterday, my message to him, Juan Soto, is it's his clubhouse too, and we want to learn and grow from you and want you to feel empowered to say and do whatever you feel like you need to do.
I told you that on our very first day.
You did,
the very first day I told you that, man.
The fact that it has to kind of be said out loud shows you, and I think the same thing happened when he was here in San Diego, that it's not organic with Juan Soto. It's like, okay, dude, we want you to be part of this team. We want you to do it. We're happy to have you here. We want you to feel like you're a member of this group with the veterans and jump right in.
But that person has to want it as well. That's the other thing. That person's got to want to assimilate and want to be, more than just I'm the superstar. And I'm not saying that was the case. I think there was some of that here. But that person's got to want to be a leader. Xander Bogaerts is a perfect example. We've told the story before when Xander got here from Boston, where he was a vocal leader at Guys Followed. He comes here, and Juan's here, and Manny's here, and Toddy's here, and all these guys are here, and he's just kind of sitting back in the clubhouse. Manny finally had to go up to him and say, hey, you've got rings. Get in the mix. We need your voice. We want your voice. And Xander's like, oh, okay, cool. And then you saw them come together a little bit more. So the player has to want to do it too. But you also can't have the player that walks in day one and is like, this is my house, my clubhouse. Everyone flocked to me. So I think, we talked a lot in the offseason about addition by subtraction. And it's something that you say when you lose a really, 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 really good player, right? We do. We go, oh, well, this will be great. It'll be addition by subtraction, and we'll win 100 games. Losing his production in the lineup is going to hurt, and it's going to hurt badly, and it's going to take 4 guys to make up that production, but it can be done.
Will he produce right away? I think we all remember the start of spring training, and he hit 3 home runs in the first 4 games. We go, oh my goodness, what happened? Actually, I didn't really notice. Apparently, he scuffled the last couple of weeks pretty badly at the plate, and Boone said didn't get a ton of results here the last couple of weeks, and he's already justifying. He says, which I often think with a hitter of his caliber isn't such a bad thing from a timing standpoint.
Is it you? Are you doing
every hitter
quotes?
goes through little lulls at different points of the season, so hoping he got that out of the way here. But I think he's ready to roll. He's in a great mental state, and I can't wait to watch him go out and tear up the Bronx. They're already rationalizing.
They're turn polishing it already.
New York.
Actually, when I think about it, I like strikeouts. It's really good. It's really good. It means you're almost there, and
it's a hell of a lot better than ground out.
That's exactly right.
You see some of those foul balls? He was right on those.
Nobody polishes turds better than baseball.
You just go up there and ground out on a first pitch fastball. At least this way, you're seeing 3 pitches minimum.
Yeah, you're helping the guy behind you. I mean, you can rationalize and turd polish all you want. Juan Soto in that lineup is going to be pretty nasty. Look, one thing we do know about him, he will at some point get locked in and go on an absolute tear. And it's a good ballpark for him to hit in. He's got some decent protection around him. So, wish him well. But I like the guys we have on our squad. It's up to our big 3, big 4, whatever you want to call it now, to get the job done as well. And those are the guys I'm most excited about watching this year. Huge, huge years needed and really expected from those guys at the top of the order. That's why they're at the top.
By the way, we did have some more baseball news in the NL West yesterday, in case you missed it. The LA Dodgers dropped another $140 million out of their pocket. 10-year, $140 million extension for catcher Will Smith, which, I mean, it's fine. It brings their offseason spending to $1.35 billion in salary given out in the offseason. And, I mean,
he deferred some.
Yeah, of course. Is Will Smith. He always looks like he's the guy who always hurts you a lot, like that you don't expect because of the other stars around him. So I'm not saying he's not deserving of this, but if Will Smith was playing for another team without the stars around him, would he be a $140 million player in your mind, or is he more of a product of the Dodgers system and the Dodgers lineup and just always putting him in a good situation?
It's a good question. I mean, I think you put him on the Twins and he's still a really good catcher. I do. I think you put him on the Texas Rangers. There's good teams. Those teams are supposed to compete in their division.
And he's the third highest paid catcher now in the history of baseball.
He's
behind
really good.
Only Buster Posey and Joe Mauer.
He's really good, man. I mean, he's in that echelon to me, and I don't like him at all. There's something around the eyes.
Not as much as you dislike Max Muncy.
No, I don't dislike anybody as much as I dislike Max Muncy. But Will Smith, I saw that yesterday. I went, probably a pretty savvy move to get him locked up. Obviously, they found these loopholes and they are just diving through them. And deferred money was how much? Like $50 million?
I didn't see the total, but I just saw that he was deferring some of it. So
it's nice. Very nice for them.
I mean, he'll be signed now through age 39. Can't imagine he's behind the plate for that entire decade.
Yep.
So you can think of DH or first base at some point, maybe after Freddie Freeman retires.
They've really branded that this whole deferment thing as
they're unreal. They're unreal. Like the way that they've done it. Andrew Friedman, I guess, deserves some credit. The players deserve some credit for doing that. But it definitely feels like it definitely feels like it's they're bringing us shots.
Looks like there's orange juice and
breakfast shots.
Breakfast shots
without the bacon. What is it?
It's for when the train comes by. Take a shot every time you hear the train whistle here downtown.
Hair of the dog, if you will. Are you going to take yours?
I think we just take them now.
We have to take them right now. I've got to work.
Right,
I
here,
have to work all day.
If you have a drink, raise it.
Cheers.
Oh,
Padres opening day.
That was yummy, actually. Look at him.
That was a lot. There was a lot in there.
I was
proud of you.
Shot and a half.
Look at my little guy. Woo! Thank you guys. Appreciate you. I was saying something and I've completely forgotten. I feel much better now, actually.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's going to be a long day, isn't it?
I'm Ben Higgins to Channel 10.
Well, remember, most of you just have to get to 4:00 in the end of the game, and you can stagger home. We've got the Aztecs. I've got Channel 10 after that. I've got the 11 p.m. news that I still have to get to tonight. I cannot go as hard as the rest of you people. I just can't do it.
You can, and you will. And we'll make sure you're taken care of.
I'll get you some drugs.
Make sure you're taken care of. I got a DM from your mom last night.
You did?
I did. And I posted a picture of us, our 6-year anniversary, and I said, year 7 starts now. I love my brothers, Ben and Paul. And she said, every morning for the last 6 years has been an absolute delight. And yes, you might have taken my sweet innocent Ben off of the straight and narrow a little bit, but I am so grateful for you. And I said, I wish I could tell you it brought me no pleasure to take him off the straight and narrow, but it absolutely has brought me pleasure. And I said,
it's your life's mission.
But I said I could not ask for a better partner than Ben Higgins right here. So
thank you.
And of course, my beloved Paulie Reinl
Well,
goes without saying, and my beloved Frank Marchese, Italian Paul, and my beloved Adam. When I get drunk, I get real lovey-dovey too.
I hope you're not drunk
I
yet.
love you, babe. I love you, Megs. I love TJ and Brad and everybody.
So what's that called when you were drinking the night before, because you had a couple last night at dinner, and then you start again?
Hair of the dog.
That's hair of the dog.
Hair of the dog, yes. I don't know what it means.
What's sudsing? Is there such a thing? Is that where you're still a little drunk from the night before?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I never heard
something
of
like that.
Paulie's looking it up.
I'm looking up hair of the dog.
Yeah.
Short for hair of the dog that bit you is a colloquial expression in the English language. Use alcohol as a hangover remedy. We already knew that.
You just push through. What is sudsing?
Sudsing?
That's what I thought I heard something about. That's another.
It's all nude. Adam, why do you look so pained right now? You look like you're in pain. Are you okay? God.
Maybe I don't know my terminology very well.
I think you just made that up.
I think you made
I may have made that one
What's
up.
edging, Ben?
Are we still on the air?
We're still there. Yeah.
We haven't been pulled off the air already?
Yeah, if you need to nap in my room, you can.
I can't.
For a while.
When could I nap in my room? I'm on the air all day long. I mean, except during the game, which I would like to actually watch the game today.
I love it.
And see how the Padres do in the first game of the season. So.
If you need a nap, I'll watch it. I'll have us dialed tomorrow. Don't worry about
the
it.
game for me. Thank you.
Sudsing is more of a lingo amongst alcoholics.
Oh, okay. It's perfect.
You got to be in the gang to use the term.
Oh, so you're definitely not in the gang.
No, I'm not in the gang. That's why I don't know what the terminology is.
You would sound foolish.
All right. Remember, you have to be down here at Baja Rick's for giving away prizes all morning long and all the way through noon. Annie and Elston are going to be here as well. But every hour, get your name into our drawing, our hopper, our spinning wheel. We're going to draw names. We still have Blink 182 tickets, Manny Machado bobblehead, Padres tickets to give away during our program this morning. And then Annie and Elston will be here. First remote ever for Annie and Elston.
Nice.
On 97.3 The Fan. So they'll be here from 10 to noon with more prizes to get away. Stop on by if you're coming down to the game, or even if you're not, you can feel like you're part of the party.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you don't have a ticket. We're going to be here at 10 o'clock this morning. Come on down, Baja Rick's Cantina, 6th and L in the gas lamp. We've got more Ben and Woods. Play a little real or fake when we come back. Qualify someone here for a trip to Las Vegas when we come back on 97.3 The Fan. Don't go anywhere.
The best time of the year in San Diego is
6:59 in the morning. Frankie's getting us back early here.
Yeah, that was
You
very
realize
early.
we just took a shot, and we could use a little extra time in the breaks, not less time in the breaks back there, Italian Paul. It's Ben and Woods. We're live at Baja Rick's Cantina. We are where the train tracks meet the Omni across from the convention center, about a half a block from Petco Park at 6th and L in the gas lamp. You can join us all morning long here on 97.3 The Fan as we get you ready for opening day. And Sammy Levitt's pregame show coming up at 12:10 today.
Sammy.
With Jesse and Tony on the call for the third game of the season and first game at Petco Park at 1:10 this afternoon. It'll be Yu Darvish on the mound for the San Diego Padres going up against Logan Webb of the San Francisco Giants. Webb went 11-13 last year, but had a good year and is considered one of the nastier pitchers in baseball. Padres only faced him once last year, Woods.
Yeah, we got him, didn't we?
Nope.
No.
It was in September. It was one of their 2 losses in their last 16 games. It was Snell against Webb. Padres were up 1-0 most of the game. Webb, though, pitched a complete game, 9-hitter, allowing 1 run, and the Giants scored a couple late to pull out that win. Remember, the Padres were just a couple wins away from making the playoffs. So at that late run of the season, that was one of the 2 games they lost over the last 16 games of the year last year.
And I've seen a lot of the sentiment going around online, and I just couldn't agree with it more. And I was as guilty and have been as guilty as the next guy of preaching it's early. And while it is, in fact, early, they've played 2 games. There's 160 to go. I know Padres fans would like to see a little more urgency. The stumbling out of the gate for 90 days crap is just not going to work. It killed us last year. It killed us. The waiting around for something to happen, the waiting around for the cream to rise to the top, it never rose. I mean, it might have risen in September, but it was far too late at that point. So these games matter. They count. I want to see them play these games with passion and fervor and excitement. Like, I cannot bring myself this year to say, don't worry, it's early. We've all got a little stung by that last year. While it may be factually true, I don't want that mentality, and I certainly don't want to hear it from the players. Hey, don't worry. At the end of the year, when you look on the back of our baseball card, our numbers will be there. Many of those guys that said that, their numbers were technically there. But we needed to have it at an opportune time, not just don't worry, we'll figure it out in 162. Got to start hot. Got to have, got to set the tone early. And you're going to go through a lull. The lulls are easier to stomach when you've played inspiring good baseball. You can go through a lull in August if you played your ass off in April, May, and June. You can. And you can stomach that as a fan, and you can stomach that as a player and a manager. Happened to the Texas Rangers last year. So I don't like that attitude anymore of, don't worry, we still have 160 to go, 158 to go. Because then you look up, and like you just said, missed it by 2. And it's like, son of a bitch, man. Come out firing today. Come out excited. Come out passionate for the city.
I agree with you 100%. And it's why I feel like one of the most significant moments of the offseason for me, obviously, the actual moves, acquiring Dylan Cease, some of the things we saw were huge. But just in the way I feel is when we talked to Manny Machado at spring training,
yes.
and he sat down with us and he said some of those same things that you said. Last year, I was the guy saying, it'll be okay. Look at the back of the baseball card. The numbers will be there at the end. And Manny told us, essentially, I was wrong to say that. Yes, my numbers were there at the end, but we didn't have the right kind of urgency to win every single game. I think they felt like no matter what happened, they had a good cushion, that they had enough talent that, if things went bad by a few games, we'll still be in the playoffs. If they go well, maybe we'll take down the Dodgers. But it never occurred to them that it could come down to a game or 2 at the end of the season to make the playoffs or not. So they didn't ever treat it that way. This team has a different attitude, no doubt about it. And part of it's the circumstances. When payroll goes down by $90 million, you feel like the margins are a lot smaller. There's less depth. There's less, pitching. There's less everything, which means you have to win on the margins. You have to win the close games, the 1-run games, the extra inning games. You have to take advantage of the opportunities during the game. And that has been the message from Mike Schilt. And I think that has been the message from Manny Machado during spring training, that if we want to make the playoffs, it's not going to be by overwhelming the league with talent. It's going to be playing by good baseball. Let's play moving runners over, driving runs in with scoring position, coming through in the clutch. The things we didn't do last season, those are the things we need to do this year to get to the postseason.
Well, and it's little things too. It sounds little league. Hit your cutoff man, right? Don't give them the extra base. Don't have multiple pitch clock violations per game. Little things like that can give you the edge or take away the other team's edge. Winning the inches is what they talk about. They usually talk about that in football, but baseball, it really applies too. It's funny. I did yesterday did a TV show with Bob Chandler, the great Bob Chandler, and Kurt Bavacqua. And the average Kurt Bavacqua.
Oh, wow.
I love KB. He knows
of course.
that.
Dirty Kurt, take it.
Of course.
But
KB's role is to be kind of that guy, the Padres legend who's not quite legendary.
But he is. But we were talking base.
God.
We were talking baseball, and KB
He's
was
going to kick your ass.
I'm here for it.
And he still could.
He's threatened me many times. It's fine. He's like
could.
Goose, It's we have a love-hate relationship, just like Goose.
And he said to me, we were talking. He said, "I see your boy playing ball," and he said, "Start with him now on the little things." And he goes, "When he coached the travel ball team." And he goes, I used to have my guys. They hated me. They hated me because I taught them when they were leading off third base, every play was a contact play. Every ball to the infield, we scored. And you have to get a good jump. And he goes, I worked on it until they were like, all right, enough. He goes, we never got thrown out at home. We never got thrown out at home. It's little tiny details that make this game so beautiful and so insane. And if you can win a couple of those a game, you can win those games. We did not do that last year at all. We threw to the wrong base. We threw behind runners. We kicked balls around. We didn't take the extra bag. Those are the things that I want to be looking for. And that's kind of what Mike Schilt has promised us. And we're going to have a weekly with Mike Schilt every Friday. You can rest assured if those things aren't being done, I'm going to ask him about that on Friday.
Starting tomorrow, right?
Starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow morning.
9 o'clock.
What happened to the attention to detail? Like, you have to hold them accountable, and he's got to hold his players accountable to that as well. So ask the tier ones. I hold them accountable, right? There's a couple of my players over here. Got to be accountable for terrible errors and base running. We get picked off once a game. It's making me insane. Absolutely insane. So, try to win those inches. Try to play with a lot of attention to detail, and they'll be all right.
And ultimately, with the way the National League West is shaping up, with 4 teams that are pushing their chips toward the middle, if not all in. Dodgers are all in. Giants had a gigantic offseason. Diamondbacks had a huge offseason. And the Padres, based on what they've done the last few years, even with a less payroll, they're going for the playoffs to be sure. Every game, especially against teams like the Giants, is going to be important at the end of the year. Maybe the Dodgers will run away with it. Maybe they won't. But there will be a wild card team or two from the NL West. I have almost no doubt about that.
I was listening to Annie and Elston on my drive home yesterday, and Craig, I thought, summed it up really well. You can imagine, or you can see teams 2 through 4 in the NL West, Padres, Diamondbacks, Giants, kind of beating each other up most of the season in 13, 14 games each that they play. It's going to come down to, how did you do against the Dodgers? Were you able to maybe steal some wins against the Dodgers? And how many did you give away to the Rockies?
Right.
You have to take care of business against the Rockies. That is going to be huge. The team that misses out on the playoffs, if 2 out of those 3 were to be wild card teams, I'll guarantee you the third team that misses out probably went 4-9 or something against the Rockies.
Baseball is unpredictable, but you figure the Braves and the Phillies are both likely playoff teams, which means one wins the NL East, the other is the wild card. That leaves potentially 2 wild card spots. You got an NL Central champion. Hopefully, it's even enough that the NL Central doesn't steal one of those wild card spots.
Yeah.
But that would still leave just 2 wild card spots for the 3 teams that don't win the division, behind the Dodgers, whoever else in the NL West. So, they're there for the taking, but you have to play well against the Giants and Diamondbacks in particular this season to give yourself the best shot at the postseason.
Yeah, you do. You need to take care of business against those guys, but you need to also stack wins against The games in Colorado, I mean, I need a Xanax to watch them. I mean, they're just the worst for our pitching and those slugfests. I just can't stand them. But you got to find a way to win those games too this year.
And every game's important, equally important. You have to also not be slaughtered by the Dodgers. Yeah. 1-1, is fine.
Yeah.
You split with the Dodgers, you're doing fine. And then there's interleague games, and you got to do well. Every single game is important, but I do feel like games against the Giants and Diamondbacks are a little bit extra valued, especially this season.
I agree.
All right, 7:09. It's a throwback Thursday, technically. So instead of Take on Woods, it's time for a little game of real or fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. Yeah, you can go plow through another donut. It's time for real or fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
All right, Real or Fake is brought to you by Valvoline. Instant oil change. It only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. And we are playing with Dee, who is here at Baja Rick's. Good morning, Dee. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
And thank you for being at 7 Mile last week for our viewing party for the Korea series. All right.
He did pretty well last week at 7 Mile.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So, get right up close to the microphone, as close as you can. You know how real or fake works?
Yes.
Okay. So, you need 4 out of 7. You will qualify for our grand prize drawing this month. It is a trip for 2 to the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas, and a $150 dinner credit. You can book your vacation now at FontainebleauLasVegas.com. Woodsy is here to help you.
Yes.
If you need any suggestions or input, but the final decision is always yours. All right. It's not only opening day, of course, but NCAA tournament resumes today with 4 more games in the Sweet 16, which means more television ads than you can count. Today on Real or Fake, I will give you the name of a pharmaceutical product.
Oh.
You need to tell me if it's a real drug being advertised on TV during the NCAA tournament or
now we're talking my language here, Benny.
I have made up to fool you. 4 out of 7 is what we need. All right. Round 1B. Real or fake pharmaceutical. Eylea. Real or fake? Eylea.
I'm going to go real.
Real is correct. It is an eye injection for macular degeneration that they've been advertising during NCAA tournament games. That is 1. Get 3 more, and you qualify for the prize. Round number 2. Sotyktu. Sotyktu. Real or fake?
2. I'm going to say fake.
Fake is wrong. That is a real plaque psoriasis medication that they've been advertising during the NCAA tournament. All right, round number 3. That's okay. Trifemerin. Trifemerin. Real or fake?
Sounds real.
It does.
It does sound real.
I'm going to go with real.
Real is, Frankie? Sounds real.
He's
that
good
means
at this.
it's fake. Okay. All right, that's 1 out of 3. So we need to rally a little bit. Round number 4 of real or fake. Provasic.
Oh, that's real. Wait,
Provasic.
No, it's fake.
Oh, Woodsy thinks he knows this one.
Woods.
It's from The Fugitive.
Fake.
It's from The Fugitive. I remembered that.
Devlin McGregor brings you
Fugitive.
Provasic.
Thank you, Woods.
You're welcome.
It's why Dr. Richard Kimball's wife was killed, to cover up the Provasic scandal in the movie The Fugitive. That is fake. All right, that's 2 correct. We go to round number 5. Bimzelx. Bimzelx. Real or fake?
Real.
Real. Bimzelx. Frankie? There's also a plaque psoriasis drug that they've been advertising. So we are now one win away from qualifying you for the trip to Las Vegas on Real or Fake. Round number 6. Zydelvo. Zydelvo. Real or fake?
I'm going to go fake.
You're going to go fake, Frankie? Yeah! Dee! Congratulations. You have qualified for Real or Fake. Last one, Woods, Opdivo. Opdivo. Real, yes.
Real.
Cancer treatment drug.
Yep.
And you'll see a ton of those today if you're watching the San Diego State game, which tips off at 4:39. And you can watch it at Gallagher Square if you've got a ticket and are going to the game today. The Padres inviting fans to stick around to watch the NCAA tournament. Got 4 games today in the Sweet 16, 4 more games tomorrow in the Sweet 16.
What a day.
Should be pretty exciting. There is not a single person that is giving the Aztecs a chance to
No, not one.
Win this game today against UConn. I mean, not anyone.
Nobody
is giving them a chance. The line is now Connecticut by 11.5.
Oh, it's gone up again.
It's the UConn Huskies are apparently unbeatable and unstoppable. We will see. Brian Dutcher, I'm sure, will have a good game plan. What makes UConn so good, and we can talk about it a little bit more, but they're very balanced. They're like all their starters score between 10 and 15 points. You can't just shut one guy down. What I like about the Aztecs, though, is they are all good defensively.
They are.
They don't have like, oh, we'll put our weak defensive guy on this weak guy. Everyone can guard, so,
conversely, we really have one offensive superstar. One. And whereas they have 5.
Yeah, they've got big enough guys that Jaden Ledee's not going to score 34 in this game. They're going to need Darion Trammell and Reese Waters and Lamont Butler to hit some shots like they did against Yale, just to give himself a chance to do it. If they go, 3 of 18 from 3-point range, see you later, goodbye, NCAA tournament over. But if they can make some shots, because Ledee's good enough that they're going to have to double him in the underneath like every other team does. You can't single cover Ledee, even if you're UConn. So they're going to have to double him, which means someone's open, finds them, they hit shots. Aztecs can stay in this game. Other games today on the early side, Clemson against Arizona. In the West region at Crypto.com Arena. And then the late games, Alabama at North Carolina and Illinois versus Iowa State are your 4 games today in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, over-under as far as total for the game is the lowest of all games today. So they're expecting
UConn's even better defensively by the metrics than San Diego State is. So, 2 really, really good defensive teams. UConn also happens to be the best offensive team in the country as well.
It's quite a deadly combo that you're going up against.
Does assist their ability to, be really, really good.
Are you going to be fussy if they lose tomorrow?
No.
Okay.
No, I think this is gravy.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
This is great. They made the Final Four, the championship game last year. They're back to the Sweet 16 this year.
Elite 8 would be elite, but I mean, you're going up against the team that knocked you out last year.
I mean, if they do win this one, now I'm thinking national championship.
100%.
So,
you win this one.
You take their number 1 seed and their road to the championship.
Identical to their run last year.
It would
no
be.
Question.
It would be. But, Dutch says they beat Alabama, the 1 overall seed last year in this round. But he said yesterday, it's different. Alabama was really good, talented, but they were a younger team, not as experienced. UConn's got talent, NBA players, experience, coaches. They've been there before. They've won a championship. There really is nothing you can point to and say, well, that's the weakness of the UConn Huskies.
Any murder charges hanging over anyone on
I don't
UConn,
think so
like
either.
Yeah, that was
no
big,
distractions.
That was a big dub for Dutch and the Aztecs with the murder charge hanging over the Alabama basketball player. That was good. We don't have that this year.
No.
That's going to work against us.
And they had no travel. The drive. Aztecs had to go 2,500 miles on a flight, and then they gave them the 10 a.m. practice yesterday, which is, of course, 7 a.m. on the West Coast. Thanks for all your help, NCAA tournament. They're definitely setting up UConn for a good one, but we'll see. You got to play the game, and it comes up later today. All right, we'll take a timeout. Don't do this. Maybe coming up next, they got a story or two we can get to. We are live from Baja Ricks in the gas lamp. Tier 1s are out. It is opening day, and we're here until 10 o'clock on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Let's check traffic with Kelly.
Broadcast live from Baja Rick's Cantina, located at 176th Avenue. Presented by Blue Moon. Celebrate responsibly.
All right, Ben and Woods. You know what? Let's do Don't Do This, but it's going to all be do this today because it's opening day and I want to keep everything in a good mood. So, Frankie, if you would kick us off, please.
Don't do this.
I got a little surprise for you, you know what I'm saying?
Don't do this.
Listen, if I've said something bad, I mean, tell me I'm a bad boy. Just tell me I'm a bad boy.
Why? Just why?
I get the argument. You don't have to explain it to me. I'm not a moron.
Let me tell you why I am a dumbass.
It's time for Don't Do This.
Don't do this.
On 97.3 The Fan.
They'll throw back open on a Thursday here, and we're going to give away some Tom Segura tickets to a listener out there as well this morning, a Tier 1. Don't have to be here to win that one, but that comes up in just a second. I will start. I love this story. I'm calling it a do this because former Ben and Woods guest, Ice Cube, in the news. Because he has reportedly and confirmed that he has made a $5 million offer to Caitlin Clark.
Brilliant.
To join the Big Three.
Brilliant.
I mean, this is brilliant to try to get the top women's basketball player in the world right now to play with his Big Three 3-on-3 basketball league. He said, we intended the offer to remain private while Caitlin Clark plays for the championship, but I won't deny what's already out there. Big Three made a historic offer to Caitlin Clark. Why wouldn't we? Caitlin is a generational athlete who can achieve tremendous success in the Big Three.
She won't make that kind of money.
I was just going to ask, what are salaries like in the WNBA?
Not that high.
Because she'll be able to get endorsements regardless.
Sure.
Yes. I mean,
you can get endorsements in the Big Three.
She could stay at Iowa and get huge endorsements.
Right.
She already has them.
She could join the Big Three and still be sponsored by Gatorade, Nike, Adidas, whatever.
So rookie salaries start at $76,535 for the first through fourth draft picks in the lottery.
You got to take that deal. If you're her, you have to. I don't know what kind of.
That's weird though. Like that's got to be something where she's like, I did not think that this is where my career would go.
Right.
But how do you turn that down?
It'd be tough. It would be really, really tough to turn down $5 million to play basketball, even if it is, Big Three. And her goals are, probably the professional level, the WNBA. But I don't know, man. That's a tough one to pass up.
There's always some haters out there. I saw on TMZ Sports, Kenyon Martin, ex-NBA player, said Caitlin Clark would not score 1 point in the Big Three.
Wow!
If she played against the guys. I don't buy that. I don't buy that either.
Got $5 million that says she will.
I don't buy that either.
Now, C20 Moreno in the chat says that WNBA contracts allow for players to play overseas.
Okay.
Why wouldn't they allow something
to play
like
the Big Three? But the Big Three is it at the same time as the WNBA season?
This may not surprise you. I don't know when the Big Three schedule is.
I'm not sure of the Big Three schedule. I know the WNBA season starts right after the NBA Finals usually and runs kind of late summer into the fall and winter.
Yeah, Tom says max salary in the WNBA is about mid $200,000. I mean,
$5 million.
You got $5 million on the table.
Yeah, I'm going to the Big Three or Big Five. Big Five is the sporting goods store.
Big Five's the sporting goods store.
$5 million to work at Big Five.
Maybe she can get an endorsement from Big Five while she plays for the Big Three.
I would be surprised if Big Five offered anybody $5 million. I don't know if their CEO makes $5 million. But being if I don't think that's the case. I will continue us in Don't Do This.
Couple of milestones here.
Yeah, well, we wanted to give a shout out to Jeremy from Virginia. He is 16 years old today, celebrating his birthday. Don't give him any alcohol, Ben.
But you can give him all the driver's licenses you want.
Yeah, he's
cars. He's absolutely can accept those.
Parents brought him down from Virginia for opening day. Virginia, right? Yeah, congratulations, 16. You got like 3 more good birthdays after this one, and then the rest are terrible. So welcome to San Diego. Hope you have a great time today. Happy birthday, my friend.
Speaking of milestones, this one's on the other end of the spectrum, but I saw this morning that SportsCenter anchor John Anderson announced his retirement after 25 years with ESPN. He's going to be stepping away later this year in June, and the tributes have been pouring in to a guy who has always been one of my favorites. Midwest They say behind the scenes, he's like one of the funniest guys, really good writer, always a very sharp host on SportsCenter, and has just been one of the staples there for many, many years on the desk at ESPN. And today, announcing he'll be hanging it up later this summer in June.
Awesome.
But always one of my favorites on ESPN. Wanted to offer him a congratulations.
Maybe, I'm sure he heard it, and maybe we can get him on sometime now that he'll have some time on his
That's a good point.
I would love to talk to him.
That is a good point.
Fantastic. All right, I love that you're keeping it positive today.
So Frankie back in the studio says the big three goes from mid-June to mid-August.
Okay.
And they only play once a week.
Oh, okay. You can
So
do
who
both.
knows? Maybe
That's doable.
I mean, if I'm a WNBA team, there's any chance I can get Caitlin Clark, even if it's like I can't play Saturday or Sunday games. Fine, we'll
Fine.
take you.
Do what we
We'll
gotta
take
do.
you either way. That's don't and do this for an opening day Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, let's we got some prizes still to give away throughout the morning. You do have to be present to win. So if you're on your way and you wanted any of these prizes that we have that Ben's about to read off, you're going to want to get here soon. And also, since we just did a very positive do this, how's our boy Steve Sugimoto doing? What's the update there?
So
That
yes,
was a do this earlier.
That's
this
a good
morning.
point. Okay, thank you for reminding me because I looked up he's playing in his first tournament on the
professional-
Japan tour.
Wow.
And first round, he shot an even par 71. He's kind of in the middle of the pack.
Hell yeah.
So he'll need to go probably 1 or 2 under today to make the cut, but not a bad debut in his first tournament. He just got over there about a week ago.
Yeah.
Flew over and is going to be playing the entire season over in Japan. He's
Crazy.
he's posted a picture of him with his brother, who is also on the Japan tour. I believe his brother shot 4 under and is among the leaders of the tournament. So he's got some support system over there, family, and good luck to Steve Sugimoto as he starts his journey on the Japan tour over there.
I'd love if he made the cut in his very first tourney, man. I mean, even par
Paycheck, yeah.
That's fine after one day, but he's got to go low tomorrow.
You do not have to be present to win our next prize, but if everyone wants to get their phones out, you can absolutely call Frank back at the studio. We got Tom Segura tickets to give away at Pechanga Arena on November 8th. The fifth caller at 833-288-0973 are going to win those. The tickets go on sale tomorrow at AXS.com, but you can win them right now. Tom Segura, comedian, coming to Pechanga Arena November 8th, 833-288-0973. We'll come back. We'll continue our live broadcast from Baja Rick's. It's opening day with Ben and Woods, downtown, 6th and L in the gas lamp, going until 10 o'clock this morning on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
76th Avenue. Presented by Blue Moon. Celebrate responsibly.
So we're just talking about Sports Center anchor John Anderson announcing his retirement this June. Tier 1 George, great listener, came up to me during the break, reminded me that you have experience with John Anderson being the host of Wipeout when you were on the program. John Anderson and John Henson, the two hosts back in the day, of your favorite reality game show competition.
Why did you have to bring this? I was doing so good. I was feeling so good, and
You probably didn't get to meet the host. I guess
No.
they do all the
they do
the
all
voiceover and everything afterwards. The funny comments about the contestants who wipe out on the show.
Yeah,
like do you remember what they said about you?
I don't.
When you didn't make it around the wheel at the end.
It wasn't good.
Wasn't good.
It was not good. It was not my finer moment. And I've had a lot of not so fine moments. That's right up. I mean, I'm in therapy about it every other week. So I mean, that's part of the things, that we talk about. But it was not my favorite. It's not my favorite story to bring up.
So Sammy Levitt is here, Padres pre and post game
Sammy.
show host. Wave hi, Sammy. And Sammy is going to be part of our weekly lineup on Ben and Woods this season, covering the San Diego Padres in Major League Baseball. We are going to announce what we have for you, some throwbacks from last year, some new stuff as well. We'll get to that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. And this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Celebrate and save at Ashley's anniversary sale with Hot Buys, your choice of color, starting at just $399. Ashley Sleep Mattresses starting at $250. Plus, receive a free adjustable base with select mattress purchases only at Ashley. So we're shuffling the lineup just a little bit this year on Ben and Woods, our weekly guests throughout the baseball season, and it will start every Monday morning, correct, with Sammy Levitt wrapping up
Sammy.
In-season Sammy wrapping up the weekends with us every Monday morning at
we'll figure that out.
whatever the time
8:35.
is. Yeah, 8:35 perhaps in the morning. And then as we go through the week, Paulie, let everybody know when and who you can hear joining Ben and Woods on a regular basis.
Yeah, so last year didn't work out great on the field, but for your boys Ben and Woods, it was a historical year. We had a lot of success. We're running it back basically with what we did last year. We are not subtracting. We are adding, though. So in-season Sammy on Mondays. Tuesday mornings, you're going to get Jesse Agler.
Yeah.
The Incorporator will be coming back.
Yes.
He specifically asked us about it at spring training. He does want to do it again, so we will bring that back. We will be checking in with Adam Jones throughout the season on Wednesdays. We're also I think Wednesdays are going to be kind of the former player day because not only will we have Adam Jones calling in from wherever the hell he is at in the world. Brett Boone, former Padre, former All-Star, one of our guys that has been so good to our show over the years. He's going to be joining us weekly for the first couple months of the season, and we'll be catching up with him pretty regularly throughout the year. Thursdays, it was locked in just this week. Eno Saris is back.
Love Eno.
Smart Baseball with Eno Saris. Now, we're actually going to catch up with him tomorrow for the first time. And then we will move forward with Thursdays.
Tomorrow's Friday,
but we'll get his thoughts on opening day.
Got it.
And then next week we'll have him on Thursday. And then Fridays we are moving our Cespedes BBQ podcast guys, Jake and Jordan, from Mondays to Fridays. We're going to kind of preview the weekend. And we'll have them at, I believe, 8 a.m. every Friday. And then at 9 a.m., thanks to our friends at SDCCU, Mike Schultz. Every Friday, the Manager's Report. We have wanted it for 5 years now.
Yeah.
The Manager's Report, and we finally got it.
Yep. It's going to be a fun year, man. And I love all those guests. I really do. And when we were talking about adding guys, and we may still add guys, there's guys I've got in mind too. Just want to continue. Like if it's not broken, don't fix, no need to fix it and tinker with it too much. And really happy and thankful all those guys are coming back. Great insight across the country for every team, but mostly our San Diego Padres.
Having Mike Schilt on every single week, some accountability to the fans, and he's not afraid of accountability. He made that very clear.
So he says.
When we talk to him, don't shy away from questions. In fact, he invites them. He says, ask the tough questions, gives me a chance to explain my thinking on decisions that he makes throughout the season. So we'll have an ongoing running conversation with Padres manager Mike Schilt on Fridays. And as Paulie said, Friday is also the day for our Cespedes family barbecue guys, Jake and Jordan, who are now associated with Yahoo, correctly? They moved on with Yahoo this year, but always putting together some great content. And that includes something that popped up yesterday. The guys took some time out, and I appreciated this when I saw it online. We'll play it for you, but Jake and Jordan from Cespedes Family Barbecue with some of their thoughts on the passing of Peter Seidler and what he meant to baseball and the San Diego Padres. Here's our guys, Jake and Jordan from Cespedes Family Barbecue.
Peter Seidler did not win a championship, but I think he succeeded in arguably a more important pursuit, and that is getting the people in your city to care about your organization.
From a fan's perspective and from a player's perspective, it was everything you could possibly ask for, right? It was someone that was so transparent, so open, so committed, so singularly focused to, I want to win in San Diego. If that means we're going to be handing out contracts that the models tell me make no sense at all, that's fine, right? Because for the fans, all they want to know is that you care and that your focus is that you want your baseball team to win baseball games. And at no point would anybody ever question that about Peter Seidler.
Seidler, over the last decade, almost single-handedly took the Padres from complete and utter cultural irrelevance to the show in town. Now, part of that has to do with the Chargers leaving, right? But the way that this organization has rejuvenated the fan experience, has given people something to care about. Like, that's the whole point of fandom, right? That, to me, is about as successful as you can be.
And while I agree that you're right, that is almost more important than the actual winning, the money that he did pump into the team has put the roster in a position now where it's like, yeah, like if you squint, this team could make it to the playoffs and go on a run to the World Series in a way that we never, ever would have thought before then, even when they were occasionally, winning 90 games.
Yeah, and in that vein, and that's, of course, Jake and Jordan from Cespedes Family Barbecue. We'll have them on every Friday throughout the season here on Ben and Woods. In that vein, Jake Peavy picked the Padres as his World Series champion yesterday. I saw that online.
And that was like a bold prediction.
You bold prediction. Yeah, that was right? Not maybe his most likely outcome, but why not make a bold prediction? And Jake representing the Padres well on MLB Network. So there are people out there who still feel good about the San Diego Padres. And what Peter did, obviously, did transform baseball in this city. No doubt about that. He also was one of the biggest, he was the biggest champion around for Padres general manager A.J. Preller.
Yes.
And the question is come up to start this year again. What does AJ's job security look like this year? Kevin Acee wrote about it in the UT today, that things are a little bit different with Peter gone, that there's going to be a higher standard. He even wrote, the thought is that Padres probably need to make the playoffs to save AJ's job, or at the very least, if they don't, needs to be like, hey, Jackson Merrill, though, is on the rise and things are building really well for the future. That might be enough to save his job, but essentially there's accountability, and Eric Kutsenda in one of his only comments did say, hey, I'm accountable, everybody's accountable, AJ's accountable for the results on the field, which makes this maybe the most pivotal season in A.J. Preller's general managerial career, Woods.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to even say, like, every season should be pivotal. I think that's a job we've talked about many times. You get hired to be a manager or a general manager, essentially to get fired. You know you're not going to be there in perpetuity. It just doesn't really happen anymore. And I don't think it should. I think you should be a little uncomfortable. Everybody should be a little uncomfortable in their jobs. And, there are aspects of this team that he has built that I look at and it blows my hair back. And I go, how did we find him for that? Then there's other things that make me scratch my head and go, why did we do that? I don't know that that's super uncommon amongst other teams in baseball. Going back to Peter Seidler a little bit, though, what he did is he eliminated a lot of apathy in San Diego for the Padres. And I think, I got here in 2010, and there was a faction of fans that started to get excited and about some prospects. Those guys didn't really pan out. And then there was a little bit of a lull. It was a little bit apathetic. And what Peter was able to do, and Ron Fowler to a certain extent as well, is to inject some life. There's nothing worse than apathy. I'd rather tell me you hate me than be apathetic towards me. And people now are rabid. They're hungry. And their expectations are through the roof. AJ has to feel that. And the players, I'll tell you, from talking to him at spring training, the sense that I got was actually they were a little embarrassed about how last year turned out. And that, to motivate a team, embarrassment is a great, great thing. I try to embarrass my T-ballers as much as I can to embarrass them. It works. And those guys are going to take it upon themselves now to say, I don't want to be the laughing stock again. I don't want to be the underachievers. Now, listen, AJ cannot go out on the field and move a guy over. He cannot go out on the field and get the last big out. He puts the best position with what he has to work with in play. And it's Mike Schultz's job to get the most out of them. But you got to think, man, in year 10, it's got to be all or none for AJ.
When it comes to evaluating AJ Preller, you certainly can give him credit for helping change the culture and some of the players that he's brought in. But I think a skeptic would very rightfully say, given the resources that Ron Fowler and then Peter Seidler provided to him, are the results good enough for those resources that he was given?
Correct.
Couple of playoff appearances, couple of big collapses in the last 4 years.
It's shocking that with some of the talent here, this team has not won 90 games. That's shocking.
Would it be fair to split the AJ Preller tenure?
Sure. Yeah, it
because
is.
The first 5-6 years, it just didn't work.
But even in the last 5 years.
And he didn't have those resources. But I think, 19 is when you signed Manny. It's when you brought up Tatis. That's when this current regime really begins.
So AJ brought this. This is a quote from this piece in the UT. And AC wrote, Preller's not prone to getting defensive. And I would agree with that.
Yeah,
he doesn't justify things. He's not someone who pushes back a lot. He just does what he does.
Kind of wears it.
But he said, I think it would be a very different narrative if you hold that very big lead in 21, or you play 2 games better last year. Now it's 3 playoff appearances in 4 years. You get another crack to go play in the postseason.
It's fair.
That's the margin in baseball. It's definitely slim. The idea is to get to the playoffs, get there every year. We've been twice in the last 4 years. To me now, the next step is the consistency of being able to do it, now 3 and 5, 4 and 6 years. That's what the next few years is going to be like.
It has to.
And he's right. It would be different if they held on in 21 and been in the playoffs. And if they had not had, the epic disappointment of last year, we'd probably be saying that AJ Preller is an amazing general manager.
Right.
But you have to live with the results that you have put on the field. And, AJ has only 4 people have been in their jobs as general manager longer than AJ. And they certainly have. There's Brian Cashman, forever with the Yankees, World Series titles. John Mozeliak with the Cardinals. Mike Rizzo, who put together a World Series winner with the Nationals. And Chris Antonetti with the Guardians, who kind of under the radar, but took his team to a World Series and 5 other playoff teams in his tenure. And then it's AJ.
Yeah.
And his results don't necessarily jive with the other guys who have the kind of job security he's had here in San Diego. So this is what I like, though, about, and I think you like about AJ as well. He said, I think we understand the standard and how serious we are about playing winning baseball here in San Diego. Our standards are really high. Internally, for myself, I take this very, very personally. I have a lot of passion and a lot of drive to win for the fans of San Diego because I see how passionate they are about this team. Since I've been in this job, just bringing a winner to San Diego, that's all this is about.
I've never doubted it. Honestly, I've never, ever doubted one time that AJ Preller does not want to win a title.
I agree.
Never once.
I agree.
I've doubted moves that he's made. I've doubted decisions that he's made. I have never once thought, this guy does not work hard. He doesn't care enough about winning. I've never thought that. Never one time.
And they write about the fact that the criticism that almost everybody has is that he works too hard and drives people too much, and that people leave and go, it's nice to finally work for a normal human being and not AJ Preller, who expects you to be on call 21 out of the 24 hours a day. at all hours, talking baseball, thinking baseball. He has really no life other than baseball and pickup basketball, and that's what he does, driven fully to bring the Padres a winner. If the Padres made a change in general manager, they would be getting someone who probably doesn't work as hard as AJ and doesn't care as much as AJ.
Yeah.
Could that be a good thing? I don't know, but that is the fact of the matter is that who's who AJ Preller is. But he still has to succeed. He still has to win.
Yeah, and I want it for him. I like a lot of guys that he's brought in, obviously, and I like a lot of guys that work with him on a daily basis that continue to believe in him. We don't work with him every day, so it's easier for us to say, "Hey, man, just look at the record. The record doesn't add up, right?" And that's one way to do it, certainly. But you also can't go every year. But no. The next crop, I'm telling you, give me to the next crop hits, and we are going to let me get Salas up and let me get these guys. Does that cloud his judgment a little bit? It would mine. If Adam told me, hey, this could be your last year if you don't, bro, God knows what I'd be doing to try to keep the gig, right? I love this gig. So that's the only thing that makes me a little bit nervous about moving forward. I don't think he's a type of guy to wreck an organization, even if he thinks he's on his way out. Right? I do feel like he would still leave it in good hands if he was, in fact, out the door. Right? Thank you, Frankie.
Frankie's adding the sound bites to himself in there. Would the Padres be better off if AJ was a little less AJ? I don't know. I don't know. I think you can't separate the man from who he is and his personality.
Well, you don't know because he's never ceded really any control. So, if he was able to delegate maybe a little bit, we'll see. But it's a big year for him. It's a huge year for him.
All right. Supposedly, we have a golden sombrero bucket coming our way here.
Boy. Oh, boy.
The cure for what ails you.
Yeah, there's your hangover remedy on the way, Woods. We got 2 hours left. We're Ben and Woods live from Baja Rick's Cantina in the Gas Lamp on opening day here on 97.3 The Fan.
They won 14 of their last 16 to get over 500. They were really never in contention. We expected them to get into contention. It just didn't happen on the field in the real world. Losing in one-run games, losing in extra inning games, and being one of the biggest disappointments in recent memory.
We obviously appreciate Bob's contributions here the last 2 seasons in San Diego, and we wish him the best in San Francisco.
I think that probably every series I would look in that dugout and look over the other side and say, maybe someday, hopefully.
We have some sad news in the world of baseball. Padres owner and chairman Peter Seidler has passed away this morning.
Juan Soto has been traded to the Yankees along with Trent Grisham.
It had been such a grindy offseason.
It was a horrible offseason.
It was horrible.
This fan base was patient.
Yes.
They went through it.
It is with great joy we officially introduce and celebrate the 23rd manager in Padres history, Mike Shildt.
We've got a fun group, guys with a lot of talent.
Diving stop, long through to first, and he got him! Oh, what a play by Jake Cronenworth!
But I do like the idea of our first time up, you got to face Fernando Tatis, and that's appealing. And a chance to get punched in the mouth right away.
First pitch is hammered to left field. Forget about it! A missile to left for Tatis.
I love Manny Machado's $1 million smile, and I love Joe Musgrove's passion for the city and his competition.
A 1-2-3 first for Joe Musgrove, and he caps it with a strikeout of Shohei Ohtani.
Ha-Seong Kim flying around the field, playing the game the right way with a lot of heart and desire and talent.
Ha-Seong Kim!
We're going to have a good time with it. We're going to play with some swagger, but we're also going to play with some substance as well.
Fernando takes off. He's going to steal home without a play. Straight steal of home, and Perez never knew. Kim swings, hits it in the air, deep to left, gonna go! Grand slam, Ha-Seong Kim. Number 6 for Yu Darvish in 3 shutout innings.
Dylan Cease going to the San Diego Padres, and the White Sox acquiring a bevy of guys.
Now it comes down to a lineup that has some superstar players, and if you get superstar seasons out of a couple of those guys, why wouldn't this be a playoff team at this point?
At the end of the day, it's about getting it done. Whether it looks ugly or looks bad, it looks great, whatever it is, it's about getting it done, right? So, we're going to do a better job this year with that. And I think it comes from the group that we have in here.
It's showtime.
All right, we are halfway home on opening day.
Yeah!
San Diego, California, down here at Baja Rick's Cantina. And full house, man. I mean, there's still some room, but I'm happy. I'm happy with the turnout. It's, tough. You go to 7 Mile Casino at 3 o'clock in the morning and 350 people show up. That's kind of your bar. And I don't feel disappointed. I'm very grateful for all of you that did get out of bed, come down here. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a good day. Pace yourselves,
I don't see a lot of pacing.
I don't see a lot of pacing either.
Some large beers being consumed at the moment.
Yes, shots and large beers already. I guess they're going to bring us out some big bucket of crab meats and stuff and regular meats and Caesar salads, and looking forward to seeing the what's it called, the golden
sombrero bucket.
Well, the thing is I don't want to see any golden sombreros today unless it's from the San Francisco Giants. I'd like to see a few of those.
So yeah, this is about to come out here. Let me give you the menu, what it entails. We've got 2 8 to 9 ounce lobster tails, prime skirt steak, Baja style shrimp, grilled chicken breast, Alaskan king crab clusters, Mexican street corn, 2 Caesar salads, and a fried ice cream to share. I don't know how we're going to divvy up 2 Caesar salads. Someone's going without a Caesar salad.
Well, I'll have a couple bites of
I don't
salad.
think we're going to be fighting over the Caesar salad.
No, I want the ice cream, though, the fried ice cream.
You want the fried ice cream?
Yeah,
That's fine. You can have that.
It's delicious, dude.
You never had fried ice cream?
It seems a little
delicious.
counterintuitive.
It's delicious.
It's cold on the inside and fried and crispy on the outside.
Oh, it's so good.
You got to do it quickly. Or the ice cream melts.
That's right.
Well, I'm going with the the big ticket items.
Yeah, we
the
know.
lobster, the crab, the steak. I mean, that's what I'm excited about the most.
I know you are.
So yeah, they just brought plates. We've got the crab cracking tool for the legs. Don't get your finger caught in there, Woods.
Okay.
You lose it. And I just saw and you mentioned it earlier, but I hadn't seen that. I just saw on social media that inside Petco Park, the mowers have designed a PS into the outfield grass.
Amazing.
That I just saw that for the first time on social media, which will be one special feature on opening day. Obviously, the Padres wearing the patches and at the Peter Seidler Celebration of Life. They debuted the PS in the heart that's going to go underneath the press box for perpetuity. We'll be there along with the tributes to Jerry Coleman and Ray Kroc and others, but it will actually be designed into the field for opening day, a big PS to make sure that Peter Seidler is on all of our minds, in all of our hearts on this opening day.
Yeah, it would be tough to forget Peter Seidler on opening day today. It makes you sad, because this is a day that he absolutely lived for. That man loved baseball. He loved baseball so much. It meant a lot to him. And I'd love to get this dub for him today, man. I really would.
Yeah, I don't want to put too much pressure on the Padres, but if you really love Peter Seidler, you win today.
Right. I mean, if you don't, then you don't.
Yeah, I mean, you'll show us how much you actually cared about the man by your performance in this game today.
Well, and I think it was his brother that said, now we have one of the baseball gods is now on our side, and it's Peter Seidler. So it's going to be an emotional day with his widow Shield throwing out the first pitch today. I mean, I'm going to be a wreck. I'm going to be a mess.
I certainly expect that every time the Padres fall behind early, it will start raining before the fourth inning every game this season, and it'll be a rain out. And if they're winning, it'll end up being perfectly sunny all game long. No problem whatsoever.
Baja Rick himself.
Baja Rick himself.
Oh, my God.
The
sombrero
golden sombrero bucket is arriving with all the accoutrements, all the sides. It's going to get a little debut on our YouTube stream here for a second. And then that thing is massive. Holy cow.
Wow.
This is just for one person, or do you recommend it for a couple of two or three people?
Rick, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Look at that. That is.
Sure, throw it on.
Chili butter.
Why not?
Wow.
Garlic butter.
I don't know. I mean, you're driving around in your car right now. Do you guys want to hear us eat?
Why would we bring this in the middle of a segment?
Lobsters.
I just want to dive in. This looks so good.
Thank you so much.
That street corn looks
Baja Rick.
amazing.
Wow.
I had my first Baja shrimp right there. Woods, would you like a plate?
I will. Yeah, I'll get one. Let's get through this segment, and then we can dive in. And
that's fair enough.
I think it's what people want to hear.
I don't think they do. I don't know that they like hearing people eat on the radio. Yeah, where's
our Caesar salad that we were promised?
Yeah, look it up.
We're salad eaters around here.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't have our fried ice cream yet either, but let me just grab a little bit of lobster before we get started here. Oh yeah, I'll just take the whole set.
Yeah, it's your fun day. Happy birthday, Ben. Look at him.
Well, that pulled out nicely. Look at that.
Whoa.
You driving to work right now. I hope this is doing a lot for you. So good?
Yeah. Fancy Ben, lobster while I do my show. This is heaven.
This is what he was made
This
for.
is absolutely Ben's dream scenario. Lobster tail and morning radio all at once.
Yep. Excellent.
Oh, little lime. Oh, look at the butter. I got to get some butter. Just you go ahead and just continue.
Just going to wait for you.
Look at that.
Brought to you by SD Fat Loss, everybody. It's protein, right?
Oh, it's protein. Yeah. Got to treat myself a little bit.
Sure.
Oh,
good?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be a little.
Have a shrimp.
Shrimp was good.
Oh, yeah.
Little shellfish day for me. It's okay to be a little shellfish from time to time. You know, you got to think about yourself.
Jesus God.
That's
Steak
tasty.
looks good. That corn looks good.
Steak, yeah. What
All
would
right,
you
let's
like,
do our
Paulie?
radio show, and then we can eat and have a good time after.
All right, what do you want to do?
I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
I have no idea.
We want to
I've
eat.
Totally
golden sombrero.
lost my train of thought here.
What do you guys want to do?
Let's talk about hating on the Dodgers for a second.
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy. That's an easy topic.
So I think you'll get a narrative from the national media that having the Dodgers be a super team and win 115 games and make it to the World Series
so cool
will be great. TV ratings will be awesome. Oh, yeah. The Dodgers being good is good for baseball.
Right.
Do you buy into that, though? That just the logic that they have that, having the Yankees and Dodgers be good. Like, ideally, it's going to be the Dodgers and the Yankees in the World Series, and it'll be the best ratings we've ever had. But if the Dodgers truly are as good as they're hoping, as their fans are hoping. Here comes our Caesar salad. They brought 3 just so we wouldn't feel left out. That's so nice. Just a little extra Caesar salad for us. If they truly are, let's say our nightmare comes true.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers are the super team of super teams. They win 115 games. They careen through the playoffs, lift their World Series title. What happens after that? Next year, then they add Shohei Ohtani as a pitcher to the mix as well. None of their guys are really going away. I mean, Freddie Freeman getting a little bit older, but Mookie's in his prime. Most of their players are signed long-term in their prime. Is this going to be good for baseball if the Dodgers are essentially unbeatable for like 4 or 5 seasons while all these guys are together? I don't think it's going to happen, but my suspicion would be that people would get really tired of it really fast.
I think so too.
There's 29 other teams that it's not in their best interest to have the Dodgers simply clubbing everyone and winning 75% of their games and cruising to World Series titles because they're so good.
Well, and I do think the way that they've handled their business in the offseason, while savvy and, haven't broken any rules per se, that's something that's going to need to be looked at eventually because guys deferring a big chunk of their salary to dodge the CBT a little bit. That's not a fair, even playing field. Not that it ever was with an $8 billion TV deal. You know what I'm saying? They have those resources. But listen, man, we know what their bugaboo is. It's when the clock strikes October. That's when Shohei Ohtani, who's never played in October. That's when Yamamoto, who's never played in October. That's when all these guys that have struggled in October, it just is different. They're going to win the division. They're going to have that 5 days off that everyone just soils themselves about. And then it's going to be up to them to go out and beat teams like the Diamondbacks.
It's the great equalizer in baseball. And it's what is going to prevent the Dodgers from truly being that dominant team, because no matter how good you are, it's tough to win 3 consecutive series in baseball. Now, if you win 8 out of 10 series over the course of the year, you're a dominating 100-win team. Yeah. You're absolutely crushing it. But you're still going to lose series as you go. And if one of those series happens to happen in the NLDS, the NLCS, or the World Series, you can't win that World Series. I don't know that how hard is it going to be to win back-to-back? Will we ever see 3 in a row like the Yankees did 20 years ago? It's looking more and more incredible in the modern era that a team was able to do it. Now, back in the day when you just had the World Series or you just had the NLCS and the World Series, it was much more feasible to put together a dynasty. Now, what the Giants did, winning 3 in 5 years, is probably not something I think we're going to see again.
I really feel like that I feel like you're absolutely right. I feel like, parity is an interesting word because there's not
parity.
There's not a ton of parity in Major League Baseball. There are truly the haves and the have-nots and then the in-betweens. But those in-betweens can make runs as we have seen. And I don't know, man. It's kind of why I'm down on the Rangers this year. It's kind of why I'm down on the Diamondbacks. I know they've added, some really good pieces, but to get there this day and age, all those players need to use all the injuries that they already have. It's just going to be tough to put it together for 2 seasons, much less 1.
There's also no doubt spending money helps you win in baseball.
Yeah.
The correlation is there, at least in the regular season. Now, is it 100%? No, but it does help when you spend money and invest in your own players.
Sure.
However, is there a point where it's diminishing returns?
Right.
As we saw with the Padres last year, the Mets. Does putting together too many star players with too much money all of a sudden start to backfire at some point?
We saw it.
It's just too hard to manage those expectations, those kind of guys. Everyone's supposed to be a leader. When Will Smith is getting $140 million on some teams, you're going, okay, and you're going to be leading us for the next decade. Will Smith on the Dodgers is maybe their 7th highest paid player and leader. And I know he's a catcher. They are kind of inherently, there are leaders, but at some point you create so big of expectation, so massive of an elephant in the room that you're starting to actually hurt yourself with these kind of contracts that you're giving out.
Well, they're playing the game for now. They're not worried about 10 years down the road. Certainly you look at it as a fan of an opposing team and go, you can't hate on what they've done. They've done a good job. They've added some really good pieces, but we know. I almost feel I know what's going to happen when October gets here. It has happened too many times, and that's what I'm banking on this year.
All right, we're going to take time out to eat lobster and crab. And when we come back,
Man of the people, everybody.
In-season Sammy is going to join us, and we'll talk a little bit with Sam Levitt getting ready for his first domestic pregame show of 2024. That is coming up next. We'll be back after Kelly's check of traffic. Don't go away. Ben and Woods live from Baja Rick's Cantina, home of the Golden Sombrero Bucket, everybody, on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
How you feeling, buddy?
Food coma.
Good.
Food coma at 8:22 in the morning on opening day.
This guy was sucking down crab legs and lobster
Well,
tail.
I mean, this was my chance. I wanted to eat as much down as possible. I had lobster, I had crab, I had shrimp, I had steak. What happened to the chicken? Did Paulie eat some of the chicken? I didn't get any of the chicken. Paulie's eating the corn. How's the Mexican? The corn was really good. And Paulie says it's good, but Sammy actually has his microphone because Sam Levitt, Padres pre- and post-game show host, is here with us at Baja Rick's Cantina. He's actually seated right in front of the golden sombrero bucket. Feel free to dig in at whatever's left of the carnage there, Sammy, if you're hungry.
Somebody with one of these crab legs.
No doubt. Grab a crab leg. I mean, you're an East Coast guy. That's the home of crab legs. And
New England.
New England.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been over there before, I'm
for
sure.
Cape
so.
Cod. Lots of good seafood,
Ooh,
shrimp,
yes.
crab, lobster.
That's where the Aztecs are today.
Yes,
Boston.
they are.
Yeah. So
How about
you get some
that?
clam chowder and such. But Sammy, it's good to see you. You're looking healthy and well after your long stint in Arizona. Made it back safely and ready for another season of Padres baseball. Third year.
Yeah, third year. Great to be down here. We've got a dessert. What is this?
Fried ice cream, of
Fried
course.
ice cream.
Yeah.
Talk amongst
My
yourselves.
goodness.
Fried ice cream. Thank you.
I could be like a food reviewer. Woodsy
Thank you.
spooning the fried ice cream
Woods
into
looks
his
happy.
mouth.
Mm.
Little whipped cream on there. How is it?
Oh, my God. That's unreal.
Wow. 3 servings.
Yeah, 3.
So, Sammy, the Padres officially released all their TV radio options today, and it included a third season of Sam Levitt as the pre- and the post-game show host. So 2 years ago, you were making your debut. What have you learned? What has evolved with Sam Levitt in now 2 seasons behind the microphone for the San Diego Padres pre- and post-game shows?
I think I'm far more comfortable now than I was about exactly 2 years ago. I think for a few reasons. Number one, it was a new job, right? I was used to doing play-by-play on a day-by-day basis and getting used to the prep, hosting shows, pre-game, post-game, reacting to games just minutes after they end, having more of an opinion than necessarily you do as a play-by-play guy.
Insane callers.
Yeah, callers, all
Insane
of it.
callers.
So getting used to the job, getting used to the organization. I mean, admittedly, when I showed up 2 years ago, I had knowledge of the organization, of some people in the organization from when I was with the AA affiliate.
Yep.
But beyond that, I mean, I'll be honest, I was from New York. I was not, a Padres guy growing up. I mean, I knew about the Padres through working in the minor leagues. I certainly knew about the minor league system, but from a major league baseball level, from being around the team every day perspective, I mean, it was brand new. So I felt like the first season was a total whirlwind because I showed up like a week before it started.
Yep.
Last season certainly had my feet under me. And this year, honestly, rolling in today, I feel
great.
Yeah,
Feel comfortable.
Great. Yes.
They always said, baseball fans on the East Coast, Mets, Phillies, they were more intense than the laid-back West Coast fans. And growing up here, I can't deny that wasn't true.
Yeah.
But now I think I might deny it. Sammy, you grew up, New York, Mets, seeing them play, seeing their fans. Now that you see what this Padres fan base has become and how passionate they are,
Yeah.
how do the fan bases, do you think, compare?
I think it's unbelievable in both places, but here the passion of Padres fans, the way they've shown up each and every day, whether it was 22 or 23, it's been beyond anything I could have imagined, right? And seeing the love they have for this team, the passion they have for this team, having 300 people show up at 3 a.m., having all the people here today. I mean, that honestly, when you talk about my job and the way it's evolved, I mean, seeing the passion that people have for this baseball team in this city and the desire to win. I think it, as somebody who grew up on the East Coast, I think, yeah, there always is like a little reputation of, LA, San Diego, West Coast, California. They're chill. Beautiful ballpark. They're chill. Win or lose, doesn't really matter. That couldn't be further from the truth here. I mean, these people want to win.
They want to win.
They want to win a World Series. So I think that narrative has finally been put to bed. I think the way Padres fans showed up throughout last season for a team that was, let's be honest, really disappointing.
Yeah.
The way they continued to show up in August and September, I think it spoke volumes, and I think it continues to speak volumes. So seeing how people want to win, I think that's the misconception when you come from the outside of Southern California. You think everybody's kind of chill, but They're not. They want to
No,
win just as bad as everybody else.
They're not, and you see it grow and grow and grow, and again, I talked about the Peter Seidler effect, and he was a pretty chill guy as far as his public perception, but that dude wanted to win, and there's a different way you can go about it. He wasn't irrational. He's not an irrational fan. He was just a very intense guy, and really, really wants to win. AJ Preller, very intense guy, wants to win, and I think Mike Schultz the same. Too.
Yeah, and I think the celebration of life. It was beautiful. Ben, I saw you there. Paul, I saw you there. It was beautiful. I think it was also a reminder of a couple of things about Peter Seidler. Number one, the person he was and the impact he had on this city and community. And I thought they did a great job, not only having baseball people speak, but also having people from the community speak. His impact with the homeless population, things like that. It was just a tremendous event. But the other thing you really learned from that, or I should say were reminded from that, was that Peter Seidler was an intense competitor and wanted to win and wanted this team to win. And we'll remember over the last couple of years, him getting in front of the media and saying, hey, we're here to win. The goal is to win a championship. And you got that feeling, whether it was Mike Schilt, AJ Preller, Manny Machado, Joe Musgrove, anybody talking last week at that celebration of life, that you really got the feeling this team, this organization wants to carry on that legacy and win. And I do feel they'll play with that in their hearts. I think you really come away with that the more you hear them talk.
Sammy, if I know you've saved something special for this pregame show. What do you have? What do you have in store for the listeners today before the game?
What do I have in store for the listeners? Well, we'll have AJ Preller. We'll have Bob Melvin, probably.
Bob Melvin.
Well, not a one-on-one with Bob, but he's scheduled to talk about it. So I'm going to make sure we get some of that.
Yeah. I'm curious to hear what he has to say in his return to Petco Park.
Yeah, look, I think knowing Bob, I think it'll be pretty, just kind of normal stuff.
Yeah.
I don't see him saying anything too juicy, but we'll have the normal stuff. I mean, look, the one thing I'll say is that when you talk about what I've got for people, it's going to be, same kind of pregame, postgame we've done the last couple of years. But the thing I love about the way we do it, I love that we're at a part of the ballpark where people can come up and say hello. It's been
back up in the loft.
Back in the loft in the Western Metal
Supply
Building. So
Company.
come say hi. I'll be there before and after every game. It's a great spot. It's accessible. I love seeing the fans, talking to the fans. And I have a little speaker there so you can hear me if you want to hear me. But yeah, I mean, we'll do that. I don't know that we have anything super.
You made it sound like he was going to go topless.
I didn't know. I thought maybe he'd save some sort of one-on-one from spring training that he was going to unleash on us, or who knows.
No, we kind of ran through the spring training stuff as we did it.
You had 2 games already that you did.
Right.
You already had 2 games.
And honestly, like pregame wise, you got to keep it current. Like, I thought about recording some stuff during the exhibition games, but then it's not actually day of, and you kind of need the guys like day of talking, and you need that feel. So it'll be pretty normal on air wise. But look forward to seeing everybody and getting back into the ballpark. Look, this is a great day for so many reasons, but it's a great day because the possibilities for what a season can bring are endless. I think everybody knows here. We all understand that this is the start of a journey.
Yeah.
There are ups and downs. It's a roller coaster. You hope at the end it's something you can remember fondly. But the beauty and kind of the weirdness of opening day is that you just don't know what the next 5-6 months will bring. And man, it can be a roller coaster every single day.
It's the best day of the year, though, by far. I couldn't
great.
even sleep last night. I was a wreck. I mean, I had 2 drinks. I couldn't sleep. I was just laying there thinking about, what's to come this season. The moments. Last year we talked a lot about the moments, and there were a couple. I mean, literally a couple of moments. Whereas the year before, there were some really, really big moments, and even the year before that. This is what I want to see. I want to see some of those walk-offs. We need it, man. This team in this town needs to see some of those moments.
Look, for whatever it's worth, the win in Korea was a really good one, and a game you felt like in 2023 they wouldn't have won.
No question.
You don't feel like they would have added on. You don't feel like they would have had that insurance. So let's see. It's early. Yeah. Those games were a week ago, but I'm certainly with you in the sense of you want more moments.
Yeah.
Okay. You want more signs that this team has something a little bit different than what they had last year. And we talked about it, I think, a couple of months ago. It's kind of important that this team gets off to a good start. It's not everything. It's a long year. I don't want to go totally off script from what we know about baseball, but it will feel a whole lot better for so many reasons if they do some winning here in the first month or two. And obviously, they have an opportunity to do it. Tough test today, Logan Webb. I don't know if people realize this. He was second in Cy Young voting behind Blake Snell last year. So he's terrific. He's somebody who's pitched really well against the Padres. So a tough test to begin the year, but hopefully Yu Darvish can match whatever Logan Webb does.
Well, I'm looking forward to the highlights and the post-game show of a Padres win later today. Sammy, 12:10 on the pregame show today. First pitch at 1:10.
Any chance of a topless pregame? Is there any chance at all?
You know, I once did a broadcast in a hot tub.
You did?
Yes, so I did do a broadcast without my shirt on once, so we can bring it back.
It's the greatest thing
I
I've ever heard.
think Craig's already trademarked Padres hot tubs.
That's true.
So
sorry.
We can't take that from him.
Yeah,
so
that'd be tough.
Yeah, he'd be offended if he tried to steal that.
He would be very mad if we did our show from Padres hot tub. Almost be worth it to see his reaction. If we were, all right, it's Ben Woods from Padres hot tub. He would lose his mind.
But you know what? We are in the business of creating headlines and viral moments.
That's
and me
true.
just ripping my shirt off mid-pregame show inside the lot. You know what? If the Aztecs get a win tonight, maybe I'll do that.
Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Sammy, thank you very much.
All right.
We'll talk to you on Mondays throughout the season. Happy opening day to everybody. Sam Levitt is here. And while we're on our break, we're going to be giving away a Manny Machado bobblehead, about to have a drawing. You have to be present to win. If you're not here yet, though, hurry on down because in 1 hour, we're giving away some Padres tickets to Tuesday's game, the 97.3 The Fan Poncho Night against the St. Louis Cardinals. We also have some Ben and Woods t-shirts. We're going to raffle another one away here. Coming up next, don't go away, more Ben and Woods from Baja Ricks, downtown, 6th and L in the Gas Lamp on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Woods, live at Baja Rick's Cantina, located at 176th Avenue. Presented by Blue Moon. Celebrate responsibly.
This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by your local San Diego County, the UPS store. Your local San Diego County, the UPS store, hosting a shred event. It's going on now through March 30th. 50% off shredding services. Visit the upsstore.com for the location nearest you. See store for details. I want to shout out a special group of Padres fans. And we'll do that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. Sounds like our Tournament of Drops winner Kelly's getting a little spicy on the traffic reports again this morning.
I wish the mics were on just now. 3 Giants fans just walked by, and everyone in the place just ripped up in some booze. So it should be a fun one today out here at Petco Park, Benjamin.
Yeah, it'll be mostly Padres fans, but there'll be a few black and orange,
a smattering,
clad fans who make their way into the ballpark today. But I wanted to shout out. Today is the beginning. Technically the third game, but it's opening day. The beginning of the 56th season of Major League Baseball for your San Diego Padres. And I wanted to shout out fans like my dad, who have been around for all of the 56 seasons and then some. Many even fans of the Pacific Coast League Padres before that, who have been there the entire time waiting for a World Series title. I've only been around since 1975. Hoping to see that first World Series championship for the San Diego Padres, but I missed the first 6 seasons of Padres baseball not being alive. A lot of people in San Diego I know have been around for the entire run of this franchise and have been waiting and hoping that this year will be the year that the baseball gods will smile and we will have a parade here in San Diego.
It's so funny talking to those fans, too, who have truly been through it all, seen it all. They're the ones that are mostly like, whatever. If it happens, honestly, they're a more calm, reserved bunch. They're like, I've seen everything. Nothing that these guys do will surprise me anymore. And I just hope it happens before I die. I mean, that is really the level that they're at. And certainly this game, obviously, I was going to ask some people in the crowd, too, if you wanted to weigh in, come up to the mic and ask you guys, why baseball? Why baseball for you? What is it that's so important about this game in particular? We all have other interests and sports we like. Paulie likes basketball. Benny likes anything with a ball. I've got my 3 or 4 that I'm very passionate about, but nothing even comes close to trumping baseball for me. If you had to take everything else away and you said you can only pick one, it's the easiest answer in the world. And it's this game, and I wonder why that is.
I think for me, I love the fact that you don't have to wait around like a week between games or
that's a huge
3 or 4
part.
days between games. I love that baseball is essentially every day in the summer, and every game is important, but you also know that, all right, we get another chance to do this again tomorrow. And I like the rhythm and consistency of the baseball season.
The rhythm method, as you call it.
Right.
Yeah.
The rhythm method.
Yeah.
It's like the knuckle method.
It's like the knuckle method.
To determine which months have 31 days
That's
in
right.
them.
The knuckle method.
That's how you do it. That right there.
Paulie, what about for you? Probably, was it always this way for you, or did you grow to love it the older you got?
Well, it all depends. To watch a sport, baseball is by far my favorite. Yeah. Playing it used to be my favorite when I was a kid. And then as I hit my teenagers and became an adult, I'd rather play like basketball than play baseball. But I love watching baseball. The pacing of the game is perfect for me. Yep. It's not intense. It's not fast paced for the most part. You don't have to be paying locked in the entire time. You do in crucial moments for sure. But there's something about whether it's the radio or the television, there's just a pageantry to the game and it's just beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, for me, it's the bond, with my dad and my kids.
That's nice.
That's it. That's really where it comes from for me. It's that like when I was just the biggest piece of human that I could possibly be between the ages of like 16 and 40, potentially. Like, I always had that with my dad where we couldn't sometimes talk about anything, but we could sit and watch a baseball game. And so same with my kids. Taylor is now starting to get into it. Bo is obviously very, very into it. And that is the most important. My wife, too, the bond of putting the games on every single night, making it's appointment viewing in our house. That's what's the most special to me is just, and texting with friends about the game. Everyone that I know, it's no secret I gravitate towards the most passionate baseball fans because that's who I am too.
It's interesting because it is the sport that you can chat about while it's going on with the people you're watching it with. You can't really do that. I mean, with a football game, there's like 20 seconds in between plays where you go, blah, 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 and then you're on to the next one. With baseball, even as the game is going on, you can carry on a conversation, enjoy, share what you're watching with someone else. Like the NBA, the NHL, they move too fast. They're not conducive. They're great to watch and it's entertaining for sure, but there is a conversational aspect about baseball that really invites you to talk about the sport, I think, more than any of the other ones.
Well, and the other thing to me is just the lore of the game. So I got a chance yesterday to hang out with the great Bob Chandler, longtime broadcaster for the San Diego Padres. The dude is still as sharp as he's ever been. And I was sitting with Bob. We were filming this TV show. We were back in the green room, and he started telling stories. And if you've ever been around really any baseball player of any level, they're the best storytellers of all time. And Bob said to me, it was like maybe one of the cooler moments in my career. He came up to me, and I said, "Hey, Bob, I'm Woodsy. We've had you on the show before." And he goes, "Happy anniversary, by the way." So he was listening yesterday, and he said to me, he goes, "I love your show, and I listen to your show because you guys love baseball, and you talk about baseball." And that was since the day we started. I said, we all said, we're going to talk about baseball almost exclusively. But he was telling stories about, his first day in the broadcast booth and how his broadcast partner was Duke Snider, longtime Dodger legend. First game, I think they're
Fallbrook native.
Yeah, they're at Candlestick Park. Padres are down 8-0 in the first inning. And he's like, "Oh, my God, this is my first game." Padres come back to tie the game. It goes to extra innings. Duke Snider leaves him in the booth in his first game, goes down to the field to do like the post game, but he's gone for 5 or 6 innings. So he has to sit up there his first game and vamp. And the game went 15, 16 innings long. And I sat there and I thought to myself, this guy has seen it all on the baseball field, but there's still so much more for him to see. And that's the best part about baseball. Every day, Jesse says it all the time. Every day you see something new. And you go, wow, I can't believe what I just saw. And that's what I love the most about it, the unpredictability.
I'm jealous that you got to spend some time with Bob Chandler. We should have him in studio sometime.
Anytime. Bob, if you're listening, you have an open invite. I would love. He was so good. The stories he told were just elite.
Definitely still some concern this series about the weather. On Saturday and Sunday, I was talking with our weather forecasters at Channel 10 yesterday. Saturday is a little more on and off, and maybe if they get lucky, I think the game's supposed to start at 4:10, 4:15. It's that afternoon Fox Sports 1 window, I think, or Fox Sports window.
4:15, I think.
Yeah, that they're playing on Saturday, and it's possible that some early rain could come in, but then clear out in time for the game to get underway. Sunday is looking very dicey right now with rain really kind of
4:15 on Saturday, 1:10 on Sunday.
Yeah, with rain really right now forecasted throughout the day on Sunday. So keep that in mind if you've got plans to attend the games this weekend. Just in case there are any changes or postponements that have to be announced. I think we're lucky here today that unlike last year when we expected a daytime opening day, and we ended up with a 7:00 opening day after an afternoon of rain, and we finally got it in. This one should at least start on time for the San Diego Padres. I can't promise when it'll end. I mean, pitch clock rules usually speed things up. Should be done by the time the Aztecs get started by 4:39. But baseball, as you said, is unpredictable. and they could play 17 innings even with the runner on second base. You never know what's going to happen, but hopefully we do get this one in. The weather should be pretty nice here for opening day in San Diego.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to be any worse than last year. Losing to Herman Marquez. And, I mean, listen, if Logan Webb beats today, it's Logan Webb at the end of the day. And Giants are supposed to be a good team. I hope that does not happen. But last year almost put your boy in the grave on day one. Plus, it gave me about another 9 hours to pound drinks and get a little crazy out there. So this is going to be nice and tight and concise.
I doubt it makes much of a difference, but having a couple of games under your belt, maybe some of the jitters out of the way early.
It absolutely does. I told you.
The Giants will still have to get through in their first game today.
I told you. Crony told me the other day. He said, I'm so happy that literally I think everybody on the team got a knock except for Kimmy, and he barreled some balls. So Kim wants to get a knock in his first AB, and then he's the last guy really of the regulars to go out and do it. But Crony said, I loved it. He said, I loved it. He goes, the trip was long. It was arduous. I'm tired. He said, but I already got 4 hits. Like, this is fantastic. So he's already gotten that first grounder. He already had that first grounder go through his glove. Like, all these weird things have happened. So they've got their first fly balls out of the way. Jackson Merrill's got his first hit, all that's done and checked off. So they're going to have a little bit of an advantage going in today.
Like, good or bad, I never really took into account how important that was.
Oh.
Whether it's your first K, your first error, your
Ground
first
ball,
hit,
man.
your first home run. Like, get that out of the way.
Get it out of the way.
Yes.
And you heard Brett Boone yesterday talk about it. He goes, man, you just got to get all the firsts out of the way, and then you ride. Day one is going to be, a little nerve-wracking for a lot of people, but I'm excited about the guys. We've not seen a lineup yet, have we?
That's what I've been scanning right
Okay.
now. I feel like maybe in the next hour or so, 9 to 10 o'clock, usually it's kind of 3 to 4 hours before the game.
I feel like we know what it's going to be.
Yeah,
too.
I was going to ask, do you think there could be any surprises from Mike Shildt in this lineup, or will it be the same lineup that we saw in the first 2 games against righties for the LA Dodgers, and you get another righty on the mound in Logan Webb today with Xander Bogaerts, Fernando Tatis Jr., Jake Cronenworth, Manny Machado, Ha-Sung Kim, Luis Campusano, Tyler Wade, and Jackson Merrill. Did I leave anyone out? I think I got everyone in there. So will it be exactly the same as the opening day lineup, even with Yu Darvish, down to Yu Darvish on the mound, or will there be any slight adjustments after the last week by Mike Shildt?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to see Brett Sullivan, just to get his left-handed bat in. I don't think you're going to see anything like that. I think it's going to be like Tyler Wade at third and Jackson Merrill in center field. I think it's probably going to be similar.
I tend to agree with you, but it's almost weird having the same lineup 3 games in a row in Major League Baseball nowadays. You had some teams that used 161 different lineups last season, in Major League Baseball, and the Padres essentially could be 3 for 3 on lineups to start the year.
Would be odd.
That's actually very odd in Major League Baseball nowadays, where even if it's all against righties, usually matchups, maybe history against a player.
We don't have a ton of lefties, so if you're a lefty, you may be in
Usually you play 3 days in a row. At least the backup catcher gets one of the starts, but because the 2 games were last week and you had a bunch of days off, I would think everyone's fresh, and Luis Campusano could be behind the dish again. So you could have that rare scenario where you truly could have the exact same lineup for the first 3 games of the season, other than the starting pitcher, which will be the same for 2 of them out of the 3. So we may know before the end of the show. I'll keep scanning to see if the Padres do put out that starting lineup sometime. And if we don't have it, certainly Annie and Elston will have it before noon. I would think it'll be much public release by then.
Perfect.
All right. We've got 1 hour left. It is still you got time to get down here to Baja Rick's. Get your name into the drawing for the Padres tickets. We're going to give away at the bottom of the hour. We're going to give away some Ben and Woods merch here, T-shirts, to someone that's in present here at the top of the hour. And then Annie and Elston will have more prizes for you when they're on from 10 to noon today. So make sure you stop by, stick around, have something to drink, have some food. They've been serving breakfast, or just get a giant golden sombrero bucket filled with lobster and crab and shrimp and steak and chicken and everything else that we had to start this hour. But we will be back. 1 more hour of Ben and Woods on opening day, having a lot of fun. Let's hear it, everybody. It's San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We'll be right back. Final hour of Ben Woods opening day edition from Baja Rick's Cantina. We are in the Gas Lamp, 6th and L, right next to the Omni, right across from the Hard Rock Hotel here.
Yeah.
Outside on the patio where the trains and trolleys meet. Here across from the convention center as well. A pretty central location in downtown San Diego.
My microphone on? I don't think it is.
Thought
There
it
you
was.
go.
I can't see. It's getting light, so I can't tell if the light's on or
That's
not.
it. You
Sorry,
did that on-
I hit
you
your
did
button.
that on purpose.
I tried to hit your button. I really did.
Pushing my buttons right now. Chris and Charisma went to the Korea trip, and they brought us back. They're called home run balls.
Okay.
Home run balls.
Yeah, and it's a Korean candy. And see, they got the guy here, and he's hitting the ball. And it looks like, I mean, if I'm being honest with you, it looks a little bit like a treat.
I'm a little nervous here.
That I would give, like one of my puppy. What are those things called that you put the pills in for dogs? What are they?
Pill pockets.
Pill pockets. They look like kind of little pill pockets. Here, open up. Let me try one here.
Very light. Chocolatey filling.
It's fantastic. It's one of the best cookies I've ever had. They're so light.
I worry a little bit just because they tend to put like fish in a lot of things.
Fish?
In Asian food. Yeah, fish flakes. And you never know when it might jump in, but that seems very normal.
Now I taste it.
You
Now
taste the
now
fish?
I taste fish. Now you said it. Do
sorry.
they really? In chocolate?
I don't know that they put it in
I didn't
candy,
need to
but
know that.
I didn't even know that either.
Yeah,
But it's like they actually use feces in these, and you can't even taste the difference.
Well, just, it's different cultural, different styles of food.
Okay. Well, those are delicious.
They're very good. No, very good. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris.
If anybody wants to try one,
all the way from
come
Korea.
get a home run ball.
All
Pop
the
it.
way
You want
from
one?
Korea.
Pop it in your mouth. Here you go.
Good.
Oh! Try it again. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
You can see my first pitch is going to go great. Yeah, there we go.
All right, so if you missed it earlier, the Padres did announce that this year's games will, in fact, be on television, everybody.
Yes.
Depending on what cable system you subscribe to or where you get your television, Cox Cable will have it on channel 83, which is new. It was on channel 4 last, like brand new, like the channel didn't even exist as of yesterday.
People were tweeting like, I'm going on my thing, and there's no channel 83.
You hit 83, it just goes right to 84 because there is no 83, but they say it will exist today.
Great.
And you'll be able to watch Padres games on channel 83. Spectrum Cable, which I have, channel 305 or 443. I'm not sure if it's like on both or you have to just guess on which day it's going to be on which channel, but that's what it says. AT&T Uverse, channel 781 or 1781, and DirecTV, channel 694-3, which is kind of where they were last year, I think, as well, which is where the Valley location was when they used to watch the game. So that's probably the most normal and familiar. But they did announce that late last night, sent out a release. So today's game and every game this season, other than the network games like Saturday's Fox game, will be viewable on one of those channels locally here in San Diego, as well as on the Padres.tv streaming option, which you can still buy in market, $19.99 a month or $99 for the season to stream games. And you can cast them onto your television or watch them on your laptop or phone if you go that route.
I tried to cast something the other day, and it did not go well.
How'd that go?
It did not go well. Hannah was like, can you just cast it? I'm like, I have no idea how to do it. None whatsoever.
You go, there's a little thing in the corner. You hit the thing in the corner.
It never picked up the deal. And so then I was out.
I've had that problem too. I'm trying to watch something on my Chromecast.
Yeah.
And I click cast and it turns off on my phone and starts spinning on the TV.
And I get nothing.
And then it never pops in.
I know Chris Ello hates streaming too, and I'm getting dangerously close to.
We've got Paul when we're at work for this, but we need Paul like at home as well. Paul, I can't stream on the bedroom TV. Yeah. Can you come fix it for us?
I need
Paul. 30 minutes.
No, we've got Paul. We've got Paul at home. That's what we need. That's exactly what we need. Hey, and so there's another question about. There's still a roster decision that needs to be made before today's game.
That's right. There is one more. They optioned 2 players to the minor leagues a couple of days ago as they sent Randy Vasquez down to the minors along with Jeremiah Estrada. But in order to activate everybody, I think they need to make one more move. Now, it could simply be Pedro Avila, who wasn't on the roster before, maybe that last guy that is dropped down. But they're obviously waiting until the last minute because he doesn't have any options left. They'd have to DFA him and put him on waivers, which means he could be claimed by another team. One of the strategies, though, is that when it comes to this day, a lot of teams are doing the same thing, and they don't necessarily have room to take a guy because they're basically saying, well, we don't have enough room for all of our guys. Are we all of a sudden going to steal someone else and then have to make another decision on a player? So sometimes you can sneak a guy through to the minors right today where you couldn't on other days.
What's the lag time?
I think it's 24 hours.
24 hours you have to claim somebody. I mean, a GM that has his eye on Pedro Avila is not going to miss him.
They're not going to miss him and like, why didn't someone tell me the Padres? No, they'll know about it. It's just a matter of whether they have room on their 40-man roster, whether they feel like they don't, it's a player that we'd rather have Pedro Avila than this guy, and they let them go. Because every team is making those kind of final, harder decisions right now about the 26-man is great. Hey, I made the big leagues. I made the 26-man roster. But if you're a GM, it's really the 40-man you care about. Because if you're not on the 26-man, you can go up and down 40-man. AJ Preller considers those usable players as his team on the 40-man roster. And you may be a 26-man guy today. You may not be tomorrow. You may be back in a week or two. But it's the 40-man roster that's the irrevocable decision that if you knock someone off, you may lose them forever. So you want to be pretty sure about your evaluation before you make that decision.
Yeah, it's been interesting, too. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. Morihone, another one of those guys that's rumored to be – he's out of options as well. So he has really made a case for himself the last couple of times out. And, I mean, that's a guy that would be such an elite weapon to have if he could figure it out. I mean, just an elite weapon. Spot starter, long guy, left-handed, whatever you need. I mean, he's got the stuff. So if he gets this shot, this will be interesting.
And then the other possibility, although I feel like at least for now he's made the team, is Stephen Kolek, who is the Rule 5 draft pick, which means you can't send him down without offering him back to the Seattle Mariners. So those are kind of the choices and the last decision that A.J. Preller is going to have to make before submitting his final roster for today's game. So we'll probably see news on that in the next hour or two as well as A.J. makes that decision. But Dylan Cease will be activated. Matt Waldron will be activated as they will join the starting rotation. Didn't need them in Korea. You will need them going forward. So, it's interesting to see what they're going to do with that today.
Excellent.
Padres and Giants, 1:10 today. Logan Webb going up against Yu Darvish tomorrow. Who are the rest of the Giants pitchers?
Kyle Harrison.
Okay, so they're going with their youngster, Kyle Harrison, in game 2 against Joe Musgrove.
Yeah, and then the third one is Jordan Hicks, who the other day pitched
he was nasty the other day.
10 strikeouts. I think, I was as skeptical as the next guy. I said, they're going to make him a starter? Okay, good luck with that. And it feels like, this is what needed to be unlocked from Jordan Hicks. He's nasty. I mean, he throws really, really hard.
He is. He's had trouble with the strike zone, though.
Didn't the other day when he struck out 10.
You wonder, how will he fare against veteran lineups? Padres with a lot of guys who command the strike zone fairly well. Make him get into the zone as nasty as it is. You have to throw strikes. So we'll see. And then who do they have in their fourth game? Have they announced that one yet?
I did not see that.
I'm looking right now. It'll be Cease versus Hicks on Saturday.
Woo!
And then again, I don't know that Saturday or Sunday's games even get played.
True.
Sunday is undecided for the Giants against Michael King.
Okay.
And from what I've heard, Blake Snell is not expected to pitch in this series. He's going to throw tomorrow somewhere, either Arizona or some sort of simulated game as he tries to stretch out. He was about 3 innings earlier this week. Going to try to stretch him out a little bit. If it goes well, the thinking is he might be able to start on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday next week. That if it's later in the week, it could be against the Padres at Oracle Park when they go back to face the Giants on their first road trip. If it's earlier in the week, it may not come against the Padres in his first start, but not expecting to see Blake Snell in the series. I do expect to see Blake Snell lining up with the Giants for introductions on opening day as part of the tradition. And we mentioned it earlier. I'd like to think Padres fans will give Blake a very deserved ovation and welcome for what he has done the last few seasons with the Padres, and especially last year winning the Cy Young. Can't hold it against him going to the Giants. Seemed like he had limited options in free agency. Padres weren't one of them, so he's got to continue his career somewhere, and there should be no ill will harbored toward Blake Snell.
Well, that being said, you do whatever you want, though. You want to Blake Snell, boom.
I know. I think you can. I think when he's just being announced, it's a bad look. Now, if he's on the mound and he's striking out Padres. It's baseball. Yeah, you get in his head, boo him all you want. You're trying to help win a game here as home fans. But for at least going out and lining up on opening day before the game, have no reason in my mind why to be mad or disappointed at all in Blake Snell.
Well, I mean, if you went across the street and played against me, then I would boo you, even though I love you.
Right. But
got a different uniform on.
What if Adam fired me?
Yeah.
And I had no other job offers, and I had to work against you.
Are you my competition?
Yeah, but
then I hate you.
But
that's
before
that's
it's
how
even
it
started,
goes.
like I'm just being introduced, tip my cap. You wouldn't even give me like a cursory round of applause. Just say, Ben, thanks for 6 great years together. But now I'm gonna compete against you.
Yeah, we're enemies.
You just boo right away.
We're enemies. That's exactly right. That's the mentality. That soft West Coast mentality of cheering everybody. That's what I'm talking about, Benny. Let's get in them, man. Let's make them scared to come in here and play. Got some really good matchups around baseball today. I mean, obviously it's day one. You're going to get everybody's best. Now you look at some
Atlanta Philly was one of the best ones. It's already been rained out.
It's been rained out. Yeah, there's been a couple of rainouts already, right?
And Milwaukee at the New York Mets.
Yep.
They both just bagged those games yesterday, knowing that no chance we're going to be able to play either of those. So those two have been rained out, but the rest of the games are all scheduled to continue today.
What a crap feeling that is. You're so excited for everybody. They're like, now we're going to do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, right away, first game of the day, Corbin Burns making his debut for the Baltimore Orioles against the Los Angeles Angels.
Yep.
I think Adam Jones is going to be there.
He is.
They had some Orioles legends going to be part of their opening day festivities. So I think that's one of the big matchups to start. You've got the Yankees and the Astros going to play at 1:10 today as well. Framber Valdez, Nestor Cortez in the first game of the season from Minute Maid Park.
And if you guys wanted to go see the Dodgers today at Chavez Ravine, tickets as low as $49 for opening day at Dodger Stadium, which is, I don't know, I'd be a little embarrassed if I were them. $49 to get into opening day.
Tickets as low as $169 for the Texas Rangers celebrating their World Series title
There
against
you
the
go.
Chicago Cubs of all teams to start the season. A little interleague play to begin the year for the defending World Series champions.
Our beloved Marlins, the only other team that we root for in the National League. Jesus Luzardo against Mitch Keller of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tickets as low as $7. Get in there for almost nothing.
I saw that.
It's more
the other
expensive
day.
to go to an A's game.
Yeah, I noticed that the other day. It actually
$7.
The price has dropped since I think I was looking at it on Tuesday. It was $9 to get into the Marlins game just to get in.
Yeah,
and then the A's was like $12 at the time, and I go that breaks my heart.
If you don't pay more than $7 to go, just look at Skip Schumacher, then I don't know what's wrong with you. I have no idea. It's where he's worth every penny, the price of admission, every single time.
You know, that's an interesting matchup. The Marlins, the surprise playoff team from last year, against the Pirates, a team that I've seen a number of experts as kind of their
sleeper,
under the radar sleeper, potential playoff spoiler in the National League to go for a wild card spot this year.
Well, and you know
the Pittsburgh Pirates.
The funny thing is this is the other thing I love about baseball. It's day one, and I'm still like, well, I need to watch the Diamondbacks Rockies game tonight because I want to watch what our division opponents are doing. I want to watch what all these teams.
Well, the Diamondbacks are essentially the Padres from last year, right? Started home against the Rockies, high expectations, added a lot of players, coming off an amazing postseason run.
Let's go Kyle Freeland.
I mean, Kyle Freeland beats them today. They go into a downward spiral of which they can never recover.
100%. It never turns around for them.
We've seen this. We've seen this movie play out before.
No doubt.
So, yeah, go Rockies tonight in the first game of the season. So that's your lineup, top games today around Major League Baseball. We're going to take time out. Come back. We are live. We're still going to give away some Padres tickets here at the bottom of the hour. Not too late to join us. Baja Rick's Cantina, 6th and L in the Gaslamp. Kelly's Traffic, and then more Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, Ben and Wood's back. Last couple of segments here on 97.3 The Fan. Annie and Elston coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. We've had a ton of fun. Great turnout from the Tier 1s here at Baja Rick's Cantina, downtown, Gaslamp Quarter,
MVPs.
6th and L. It is fantastic. It's been a nice morning. It's not cold, but
No,
it's
it
not
feels
warm
great.
yet, but it just feels kind of nice. A little overcast, but that's San Diego in April time and March time. So
Christian just brought us a shot of tequila.
Damn it, Christian.
And can I do a body shot off of you?
Please.
I've always wanted to do that.
Please. How does that work exactly?
How sturdy is this?
I think I lick your neck.
Oh,
and
no,
then you
never
hold
mind.
this here.
I thought you were actually just going to – I thought maybe like you just like this would be a bun. Like,
No, I licked the salt off your neck. You hold this in your mouth, and then I.
no, I
Come
don't think so.
on!
I
You're
don't.
such a
I don't
prude.
think we want
Is
to
that
do
the one where
that.
you pour the shot like
In the
on
belly,
his-
in your belly button.
Yeah. Slurp it up. Zamboni.
I have an Audi.
You guys want to see it?
I have an Audi. That's not.
Yeah! His belly button sticks out like this far. So I don't, maybe I could balance the shot on top of it. Drink it with a straw. Show us your Audi, Betty. All right, you don't have to do this.
It's not that appealing, but thank you.
Brother. Here we go. Oh God.
Okay.
How was that? You feeling good?
I mean, here's the problem. I want 15 more now. That's the problem. It went down so smooth. It's gonna be a long day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Long day.
You don't want this one?
I'm going to pass. Actually,
I'll save
I've
it
got,
for after.
I've got so much work to do today. It's never ending. We got an Aztecs game after a Padres game, and then we got the late news tonight. So I'm gonna try to be a little responsible here moving forward.
That's our Benny.
I got my midday show in just an hour or so at the top of the Marriott in the Gaslamp. We've got the DJ booth on the roof where we're going to be broadcasting live on 10 News.
And I really hope
midday today.
I can see
There's
more peace and unity. When already things are so difficult.
Whatever you need, I will meet you up there. I'll film it. Like we have to make this happen. I need the David Guetta reenactment.
The whole
Ben
bit.
Higgins cures racism.
Yeah, today, and sets the Padres up for a winning season.
All right, let's see. We've got we haven't talked much about the Aztecs game. It's kind of getting lost in the shuffle today. I feel bad about that. So last year, Padres opening day, the Aztecs were on their run to the Final Four, but we had already had opening day. No, we had the Aztecs are already in the Final Four by
Correct.
the time the Padres had even gotten to opening day.
Remember, we got in the fight with the guy that Adam knows from his old radio station, the bald guy who yelled at it. He's like, no one should.
Mraz?
Oh, yeah,
right?
Mraz.
No
yeah,
one
yeah.
should be at the Padres game. They should all be somewhere watching the Aztecs game. And they showed the game there, and people did both, and he got his panties in a bunch.
The Final Four game was on Saturday. It was before the Padres game.
Yeah, that was like the third game of the season.
Championship
Yeah.
was Monday night, and there was a Padres
there
game.
was a
I was
Padres
at Petco Park. They were
Yeah.
showing the game on the big screen during the Padres game. It's pretty cool. I kind of anticipated the Padres were going to lose. So, or not the Padres, the Aztecs. I anticipated the Aztecs losing the championship. So I was like, let's go to the Padres game. We already had tickets. And I was like, we'll monitor the game. If the Aztecs are making a freaking run in the second half, we're going to the bar. We're going to go watch the game. It didn't matter.
It didn't matter. That was not a close
I mean, if
game.
I was, if I got to be the, sports commissioner of everything, I would have separated the games out and had the Aztecs play the Friday, Sunday.
Sure.
So opening day could have been all on its own, and then we could have split it. But once baseball season starts, it's every day. There's going to be some overlap, certainly, if you get this far in the NCAA tournament. So
That's a good problem to
at
have.
least the games aren't on at the same time.
Yeah.
Could have been a 4:00 start today for the Padres. We've seen opening days at 4. Could have been a 7:00 start with a later Aztecs game. So at least we have the opportunity, if you want, you can watch the Padres game, and then you can watch the Aztecs game either at Petco Park or do so at home. That is available to you.
So want to hit this breaking news here?
Yes, we just had the Padres have tweeted out their 26-man roster for opening day, and
lineup's out
and
too.
the lineup
Frankie
is out
said.
as well.
We got a lineup.
So I can tell you, as I'm looking at the pictures on the roster, that Pedro Avila is there, as is Stephen Kolek.
Wow.
But Adrian Morejon is not.
Ooh, wow.
So that means That means Adrian Morihone will have to be put through waivers, and he will be eligible to be claimed by another team. No change on the catchers, just the two, Luis Camposano and Kyle Higashioka. So Brett Sullivan remains not on the roster. They could call him up later in the season. And you still have the same infielders from Korea, including Tyler Wade, Eggy Rosario, and Graham Pauley, still making the opening day roster. So no changes on the position players, just on the pitching staff, where Pedro Avila does make it. Adrian Morihone does not make the opening day 26-man roster.
Give me that lineup. That's what I want.
Dennis Lynn just said the Padres optioned Morihone. This is his last season with options.
Oh, he does have an option. I thought he was out of options. Oh, that makes it an easy decision then. You don't have to expose Pedro Avila. So
you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, buddy, that clapped when he heard Morihone was gone.
Not gone yet. And then we've got a lineup as well.
That's what I'm looking for right now.
I have not seen the lineup. I've only seen the 26-man roster.
MLB.com.
I'm pulling it up. All right, we have Bogarts. It's second base. Tatis in right field. Cronenworth batting third, playing first. Machado DHing, hitting cleanup. Hassan Kim at short. Profar in left. Camposano behind the dish. Wade at third, and Merrill in center field.
Exactly the same. Yeah, I had forgotten Profar when I went through it earlier, but that is the
Mr. Consistency so far.
That is the exact same lineup for the third straight game for the San Diego Padres, twice with Yu Darvish on the mound. So no changes from Mike Schilt. And like a lot of managers, Mike Schilt has a bit of superstitiousness to him as well.
Sure.
After you score 15 runs,
don't
you're
change.
probably not going to make a ton of changes with what worked very well in your last game, even if it was almost a week ago.
I like it, man.
You want to send out that same lineup, see if they can do some damage again in Game 3 of the season.
Okay.
So, all right, well, that was good. I had thought that Adrian Morihone was out of options. I really had. So that surprised me that he still has one. Makes the decision a little easier because you can always call him up later in the season now if you need him. You don't have to expose him and risk losing him going forward.
Beautiful. All right, we got one more segment. Let's bring up our midday host.
Yeah, let's
Craig
do it.
Elston.
All right.
Craiger!
Come up next segment.
All right, we're going to take a little time out. Come back. We'll have Craig check in before their shorter show today, 10 to noon here on 97.3 The Fan. We'll be right back live, and we're going to give away some Padres tickets during this break as well with Ben Woods from Baja Rick's Cantina in the Gas Lamp on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. right, final segment of Ben and Woods. We are live at Baja Rick's Cantina. We will be immediately followed on this program by Annie and Elston. They will be doing their first live remote show as 97.3 The Fan hosts. Looking forward to seeing the crowd, get to see Annie and Elston live, and we will be joined by Craig right after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97th.
And as we're joined here by our midday show host, Craig Elston, I have to start, Craig, by apologizing because, and get his microphone on. Are you plugged in the right way?
Check.
There you go. You're on. Apologize for him.
What did I do?
You haven't done anything yet, but you're about to. Woods gets very passive-aggressive during baseball season when the other shows get preempted for baseball all year long.
Son of a bitch.
Day games during the week, early starts, short shows.
Yeah.
Craig's got an hour show. Craig's got a 2-hour show. Quinn and Chris are off for an entire week when they're on an East Coast road trip. Whereas the morning show, we do 4 hours every single day. Maybe like 1 or 2 days a year, we get off 30 minutes early for Sammy's
game.
Oh my God. And Wood starts to get a little resentful about it as the summer goes along.
I wouldn't. You know whose fault it is. It's Adam's fault. Because Adam always says, well, I have to keep it fair. And I said, well, fair is fair. And, listen, I guess our definitions of fair are different. But no, I'm excited that you're here. You had a shot of tequila. I thought you were going to blame me for making him take a shot of tequila. I didn't put that to his lips. He drank that of his own free will.
You set it down.
That was enough.
It was delicious.
Yeah, that's usually enough.
It was delicious. And big day for
Can't
you
wait.
guys as a show. Big day for the station. And, of course, the team and the city. The best day of the year.
It really is. It's amazing to see everybody. I think the biggest thing that I'm so excited about is just being a part of this community, and we have been for years and years. But this Padres fan base is in such a different place than it was years ago, and just to even be out with you cats at 7 Mile,
It's crazy.
Last Wednesday for hundreds of people at 3 a.m.
Bananas.
to watch the games. We care about the Padres. We love the Padres. We love baseball. I think that's why we're all here.
No question.
Craig, this is our 25th opening day kind of together because it was 24 years ago in the year 2000 that Craig and I celebrated our first opening day together as pre- and post-game show hosts.
Bob Chandler was talking about you guys yesterday when I talked to him.
I want to say it was a road game against the Mets on that very first game. We had no idea what we were doing. It was new to the station that we were at. They had all the executives staring at us as though, that we were like driving the Titanic into an iceberg, making sure that we were going to be okay.
We have one staring at us.
We've come a long way. It's good to be back together again, though, 24 years later on the same station, getting to do consecutive shows during the day, and glad you're back for a Padres season this year with us.
And again, it's Brian Lawrence on the mound, and we're
Thank God, right? Boy,
Bubba Trammell ready to rock.
The tenor and the tone has certainly changed.
We laugh, but 5 years ago, Eric Lauer was the opening day starter for the San Diego Padres. So, I mean, it's changed a lot in very recent times from what it used to be like.
Yeah, no doubt. And, of course, the great Yu Darvish toes the slab today against the great Logan Webb. I mean, what a matchup in day one. The last couple of opening days. Paulie, remember the opening day that I picked Hosmer to have like 4 RBI? Who do we need? Like, who's going to have a big day today for our beloved San Diego Padres? I nailed that one year. I was like, Hosmer's going to go 3 for 4 with 4
Turned out to
RBI.
not be that bold of a prediction because Hosmer's the greatest player in the month of April
in the history of baseball.
Ever.
Fair.
Yeah.
Maybe ever.
Who do you guys like to have a big day today?
I don't know. I got some money to spend on a prop bet.
Let's go Xander.
The Zan man.
Or the San Diego shirt today. Let's go
right.
Xander.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do you one different. I think Luis Campusano drives in a couple.
You know,
of runs
I almost
today.
thought that too.
I think Campy has a big day today. That's who I'm rooting for, and I want to see him get off to a really, really good start this year.
My answer: Jackson Merrill.
Jackson Merrill
finds a barrel. The guy who just hits the ball hard,
Every
doesn't
time.
ever seem to shy from a moment, even at 20 years old. And I kind of think he's going to like the spotlight and finally getting to play in front of the home fans and be at Petco Park for a real game for the first time.
Safe to say that there's a little man crush developing. All he talks is Jackson Merrill, Jackson Merrill, Jackson Merrill. A little tiny man crush developing.
I just, when we got to meet him,
he was
very impressive young man.
Ben just kept looking.
It's kind of in that like fatherly
Never
uncle
meet your
kind of sort of way.
Never
I mean,
meet your heroes.
he's young enough to be my son. I have
He
a
is.
son who is exactly his age.
It's wild, right?
And I do feel a bit of a parental responsibility almost towards Jackson Merrill at this point, which is, I know it's not my job.
He
but
didn't ask for that.
He did. I know he
didn't
didn't.
ask
I
you to be
didn't.
his dad. All right. I love it. No,
He has his own family. I know that.
When we were at spring training, he would look at him. He's like, "But you're so confident. You're just so confident." And Jackson was like, "Yeah, you're starting to make me uncomfortable. Relax a little bit."
Yeah.
It is so good. I mean, that's a good pick. I mean, you look at the lineup and you go, any one of these guys is capable of doing some really, really big things.
Tyler Wade has the best batting average so
he
far.
does.
So
I
it
mean,
could be
Crosby,
anyone.
how about it? Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
He's one of the biggest X factors on this season, to be sure. But I heard you guys talking about it earlier this morning, too. I really think the NL West is now what the AL East used to be. 1 minus, right? You don't have a Tampa in there, but you got 4 teams that are all trying to win and 4 teams that are all going to be good. And I really think it's going to come down to a game or two this year. One way and another, it's going to come down to a game or two. I think there might be a pack of 6 teams in the National League that finish within 2-3 games of one another. So every game matters. Playoffs start today. That's got to be the mindset for the Padres. It's not like take it easy and worry about the back of the baseball card. It's playoffs start today. Let's go.
Yeah, we brought up your point that you were discussing with Annie yesterday about how the games against the Rockies may end up deciding the division. The difference between going 11-2 and 9-4 and 7-6 might end up being the difference in who gets the final wild card spots out of the National League West. But I brought the reverse out of it. And it could also come down to who doesn't get as clobbered as badly by the Dodgers. And it's never gone well for the Padres. So far, 1-1. Hey, you got 2 out of the way, and you're at 500 against the Dodgers. I consider that as having an advantage now over the Diamondbacks and the Giants, who still have all of their games left against the Dodgers. And while it's just 2, you got one of those wins. Yeah. I mean, if you can sneak 6 wins against the Dodgers, and I know that would still be losing the season series, but kind of want to, sign up for something right around there. 6 or 7 wins against the Dodgers could actually make up ground compared to some of the other teams if the Dodgers are as good as people think they're going to be.
Yeah, as long as you go no worse than 5-8 against the other teams that you're fighting in terms of this middle group, I think it's that combination of how many did you beat the Dodgers and how many did you lose to the Rockies, and that's a funny way to look at it, but that's a stat I'm telling you I'm going to track all year.
So I talked to, when we were down on the field the other day, Paulie and I made sure to talk to a couple of the trainers and wanted to ask them, how's Manny doing? And every one of them, there's 3 guys down there that we know pretty well. They said, doing great. He's doing great. So don't know what that translates to when he's going to get back and play the absolutely elite third base that we're used to with no fear and uncorking that cannon that he has. Craig, for you, when Manny comes back and he's playing third base, does that make this team better or worse because of who now is your designated hitter? What happens in your mind?
Right. I mean, it makes the team the same because you're just shifting Tyler Wade, Eggy Rosario to DH.
One of those guys.
But you're better defensive.
Right. But that's not a DH in the National League.
Correct.
So this team, I've said it, I'll say it, I'll keep saying it. They're a batter short.
Yes, one bat away.
Yeah, they're a batter short. And the addition of Montgomery now pushes me over the line on Pham. I'm like, bring in Pham's right-handed bat because we've got these tough lefties in the division. Let's go get him.
Do you guys believe A.J. Preller, who when asked on camera, microphone about being a batter short, will give you a spiel about giving an opportunity for these young guys? How will you know what you have in Graham Pauley and some of the other guys if you just simply go out and sign and make Tommy Pham your everyday player? Or is he just making up a a reasonable story that goes along with we don't have the money to spend to stay under the luxury tax and acquire an impact bat
But
at this point.
if you wanted Graham Pauley to have a shot, Graham Pauley would be your starting third baseman today, or and Tyler Wade would be coming off the bench. So
Tyler Wade's not your prospect of the future that you're thinking you're trying to develop into a star.
Tyler Wade
He's a stopgap.
He's a stopgap. He is a piece of bubble gum on the dam right now. So that to me doesn't hold a lot of water, because if you wanted to get him looked, he's in the lineup today.
Right.
And if he goes 0 for 4, he goes 0 for 4. And Tyler Wade is a professional, and he's done some good things, and he's fast, and he runs bases pretty well. I haven't really loved what I've seen at third base.
Could that be a quiet point of contention between Mike Schilt and
Potentially.
AJ Preller? Where Schilt, as we talked to him, he goes, you got to prove your way into a starting lineup. He said that to us at spring training.
He did.
Not just giving anybody a job just because they're a hot prospect. Jackson Merrill had to earn his job in center, and he did. Graham Pauley has maybe opened some eyes, but I don't know that Mike Schilt's fully confident putting him in as an everyday player yet. And so far, even though he's on the roster, he's had a pinch hit appearance, limited use so far.
Exactly.
Will there be an edict from, hey, Graham's on the roster, you need to start playing him, or we have to send him back down? Because you can't just have Graham Pauley sitting here getting 3 at-bats a week, one start every 8 or 9 days. And you're not going to develop as a player that way.
And at this point, yeah, you'd love a left-handed slugging DH/outfielder, whatever.
Brandon Belt,
right? We can't play the outfield, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that would be a good fit here with this team. Tom, at this point, I don't care. Right-handed, left-handed, switch hitter. We need another stick.
Another pro hitter.
Yeah, another pro hitter. JD would have been a really good fit here as well. There's a lot. Duvall would have been a good fit here. There's a lot of guys that came off the board, and you looked at him and went, I think we probably could have swung that for Adam Duvall.
Well, and the one thing that I really took from JD Martinez's comments when he signed with the Mets, everything he said about the Giants applies to any veteran free agent looking at the Padres. They're worried about coming to Petco Park, having their numbers go down 20%, and then going back into the market and saying, in Belt's case, well, now you're 36 and you hit 14 homers for the Padres, so maybe you're just washed.
Maybe you're fine. This is your last go.
We'll give you a non-roster invite.
Do you feel like Jordan Montgomery, it's like, did he make a mistake signing with Arizona on a somewhat of a prove-it deal in what is one of the better hitters parks in the league? Whereas Blake Snell, if you're going to sign an opt-out deal, San Francisco is a great spot to go at least pitch for a year because it is such a great pitcher's park.
I mean, he went for the money, and I think this is an arms race now in the NL West. I really don't this may be weird. It's unprovable, so I'll just say it. I don't think Snell and Montgomery are in the NL West unless we make the Cease trade.
Yeah.
I think the Padres made the Cease trade, and they upped the ante. They raised the pot, and both players didn't want to fold. And so they went in and they got an ace left-hander, each one of them, to say, okay, you got Cease, but now we got Snell, we got Montgomery. Everything's back to even. And now, how about that DH spot for you guys? So that's where I say, okay, make the next step. It's an arms race. Step up. Go ahead, get that next one back. They're not going to do it right away, obviously, or else they would have done it.
Yesterday was one of those days. I was down here with Hannah. We were down early, and I'm checking my phone all day. She said, what are you looking for? I said, the day before opening day trade. The Marlins, Yankees, and Rays pulled off a trade. John Birdie going from Miami to now play third base for the Yankees. Like, he's going right in. You're playing third base for us. I was waiting for that 3-team deal, the 2-team deal, the free agent signing, something yesterday. And I'll say, I was a little surprised it didn't happen. I was really kind of monitoring it closely.
Yeah, me too. And I think we're going to ride with this. I mean, we'll talk about it more, obviously, after 10 with Annie, get her perspective.
Sure.
But I'm just really surprised that Paulie's on this roster.
Yeah.
Just as you were saying, Ben, everything you say, I just underline and echo. He should not be here to be on the bench. He should be in AA. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with Graham Pauley being in AA.
Not a damn thing.
But maybe they're still working on that one last guy. They're trying to get that veteran across the line. The one thing I kept thinking about when it came to Pham, you don't get paid for spring training.
Right.
You literally don't. So
Tommy knows that.
Yeah, Tommy knows. If anybody knows that, it's Tommy Pham.
So today's the first day that he's kind of missing a paycheck.
Yeah.
Is today. So 2 weeks from now, I guess, quite literally. But that's where maybe something happens, hopefully sooner than later.
Just a little news, as I said, a lot of teams making their final roster decisions. Just saw in the chat, the Seattle Mariners DFA Taylor Trammell today. I don't think the Padres still win that trade. Ty France, Taylor Trammell, Andres Munoz, and Luis Torrens for Austin Nola, Dan Altavillo, and Austin Adams.
We got some work to do still.
I guess it could have been worse if Taylor Trammell had turned into an all-star, but if you're looking for one more outfielder, there's one that's now available that has a history with A.J. Preller that is suddenly available to be claimed on waivers if you'd like to do so at this
He's
point.
never been good.
Never been good.
No, on the big league level. Minor league level, sure.
Really good.
Had a lot of good, promising
Stash him in El
seasons.
Paso and see what happens.
But, but I mean, if you were going to send him down, you have to do the same thing and
good point.
let other teams have the shot to put him on the big leagues. But he's not a big league player right now. He hasn't proven himself to be. But one last remnant of that 2020 trade, actually, the pandemic season when they made that deal.
Nola
at
and
the deadline.
Clevenger.
That's the one that stings.
Those two together.
Munoz, watching him pitch it's a revelation. Watching that dude throw, he's unbelievable.
Ty France would be our DH, and he'd be fine.
Really, really good.
Munoz
really,
in
really
the
good.
bullpen.
Yeah.
But,
Really
I mean,
good.
I don't know that A.J. Preller cares that much, but can't love when that trade gets brought up over and over again as one of the worst decisions he's
We've all
made
done it. We've all made
as general
mistakes, and you
manager.
can't put it back in the tube. And what do you do moving forward? There's this season where we're still looking for another stick. And I'm interested to see if anything happens, materializes, but also interested to see how Mike Schilt will employ his bullpen today. Who's the first out of the pen?
And who's in the eighth?
Who's in the eighth,
Yeah.
right? Is it Wandy? Is it Matsui?
Because it was different in Korea because they had extra arms and Michael King coming out of the pen. Now it's real baseball.
It's real
going
baseball.
forward.
This is what I love. The strategy and what we don't know starts to come to light a little bit with every move that's made.
Well, Craig, you went a long ways toward alleviating Woods' bitterness by
You're
joining
welcome.
us for 20 minutes here and extending your 2-hour show today with Annie. It's now a 2.5-hour show, but
It's all good. It's all
Annie and
good.
Elston are
We're
coming
talking
up
baseball.
here
It's fine.
at the top of the hour. They'll be with you until 12. More prizes to give away. I know you guys have a different set of prizes. We got more tickets and more giveaway items. So if you're still on your way down, please stop by Baja Rick's Cantina. Again, we're located next to the Omni, across from the Hard Rock, 6th and L in the Gas Lamp Quarter. Going to be here all morning, and then tune into Sammy's pregame show at 12:10. Jesse and Tony with the first pitch. Yu Darvish against Logan Webb, 1:10 this afternoon. And then later today, Aztecs in the Sweet 16 on a red letter day for sports in the city of San Diego.
Thank you guys so much.
So many people we got to thank. Rick
Best
and Bob,
radio
Rick,
audience in America.
thank
the
you
tier
very
ones.
much. Presley promotions team, great job as always.
Adam Kluge's
Frank
in the house.
back in the studio
Frankie.
doing a great job. For Paul Reindl, for Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Happy opening day, Annie and Elston. Coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.